Dearest Father in heaven, once again, we are gathered today to seek your counsel and guidance as we tackle important issues affecting the sports sector. Allow us to open our hearts and minds to proper reasoning in order to foster growth and effective communication in the sports sector. Instill in us the value of humility to accept when we create lapses in judgment and give us the wisdom to correct our errors. Grant us the grace to be patient, honest, and considerate with our words and actions so as to achieve mutual grasp and understanding on the matter. In doing so, may we become devoted servants not only to our country, the Philippines, but also to you, Almighty Father. All this we ask of you. Amen.
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 The 19th regular committee meeting of the Committee on Youth and Sports and Development is hereby called to order. Any motion to dispense the meeting?
Mr. Chair, I move to dispense with the calling of the roll.
Roll. Any second?
I second, Mr. Chair.
Having moved and seconded, the chair hereby dispense with the calling of the roll. The copies of the minutes of the previous meeting of the Mother Committee held on November 29, 2021 were already distributed to our members. Do I hear any motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes to approve the same?
Mr. Chair, I move to dispense with the reading of the minutes and to approve the same.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
There's a motion to dispense the reading of the minutes of the previous meeting and to approve the same. Having been moved and seconded, reading of the minutes of the meeting dated November 29, 2021 is dispensed and with the same hereby approved. The chairman would like to acknowledge the presence of the honorable members. First of all, our Deputy Speaker, Rufus Rodriguez, also the chairman of PATAFA, our former chairman, John Marvin Yul Servo, Congresswoman Sarah Jane Elago, Party List Kabataan, Vice Chair Manuel Luis Lopez, 1st District Manila, Congressman Ian Paul D, 3rd District Isabela. Comsec, can you acknowledge our
Yes.
Mr. Chair, for today's meeting, we have the following resource persons. For the Philippine Sports Commission, we have Chairman William Ramirez, Attorney Guillermo Roy, Mr. Mark Edward Velasco. From the Philippine Olympic Committee, we have the Deputy Secretary General, Carl Zambrano, and Deputy Secretary General, Ms. Karen Caballero. From the Gymnastics Association of the Philippines, we have Ms. Cynthia Lagdameo Carrion. And we also have from the Commission on Audit, Mr. Salvacion de Los Angeles, Mr. Alejandro Millep, Attorney Erwin Lapitan, Attorney Anisa Aziz. And also we have from the Philippine Track and Field Association, Mr. Chairman, we have the President, Dr. Philip Ihuico. And of course, the Chairman, our Deputy Secretary, Deputy Speaker, Rufus Rodriguez, Engineer Noel Silva, the Treasurer, Mr. Renato Unso, the Training Director. And we have our Olympian, Paul Walter E.J. Obiena, he's on board today. And also we have Attorney Bobette Bruce, Mr. James Lafferty, Attorney Alex Avisado Jr., Attorney Maria Cristina Garcia Ramirez, Attorney Rose Ann Rosales Vasquez, Attorney Ray Anco, Attorney Lourdes Soreta, Attorney Quenmer Manglera. Mr. Chair, that would be all.
Thank you, Comsec, to our resource persons. Thank you very much for sharing your valuable time with us, especially with our reigning Asian pole vault record holder, Ernest Obiena. Thank you for being with us today. Is there anyone who was not acknowledged? Please raise your hand so you can be acknowledged. If none, let us proceed. Good morning to our esteemed colleagues and to all our guests for the 19th regular meeting. The committee would like to consider 4 House resolutions. Ba't naka-unmute?
Sorry, nakamute pala ako. Good morning to our esteemed colleagues and to all our guests. For the 19th regular meeting, the committee would like to consider 4 House resolutions. First in the agenda is House Resolution 2319, which seeks to congratulate members of the Philippine Obstacle Sports Foundation for ruling the first world's highest obstacle course race competition in Tanzania, Africa. Second, House Resolution 2328, which seeks to congratulate Olympian and gymnast Carlos Yulo for winning the gold medal in the men's vault event 2021 Artistic Gymnastics World. Third is the House Resolution 2333, which seeks to investigate into the incentives given to gymnast Carlos Yulo for winning gold and silver medals at the 50th Artistic Gymnastics World Championship. Fourth is House Resolution 2380, which seeks to investigate the alleged harassment of the Philippine Athletics Track and Field Association, or PATAFA, against Olympian and pole vaulter Ernest Obiena. Today's hearing, we have invited the Philippine Sports Commission, the Philippine Olympic Committee, Gymnastics Association of the Philippines, the Commission on Audit, or COA, officers of the Philippine Athletics Track and Field Association, or PATAFA, Olympians gymnast Carlos Yulo, and pole vaulter Ernest John Obiena, and his team, Coach Petrov, and Attorney Bobet Cruz, among others, to shed light on this issue. Considering that I don't foresee any lengthy discussion on our House resolutions number 2319 and 2328, because of all the concerned individuals are unquestionably and worthy of the commendations. Without further ado, the chair would like to recognize Rep. Mariano Hernandez, the 2nd District of Laguna, for the sponsorship remarks of House Resolution 2319. Is she on board? Wala yata. Kong Yul, can you make the sponsorship remarks, please? Boss Yul, if possible.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Boss Yul.
I'd like to manifest the House resolution of Ruth Mariano Hernandez. House sponsorship speech, Mr. Chairman, be the number 319.
2319. Thank you, Boss Yul. Before we move to adopt, can we first hear also the other resolutions on House Resolution 2328 of Congressman Eric Olivares? I don't think he's here also.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair. Mr.
Boss
Chair.
Manny, can you sponsor,
sorry.
please? Boss Manny, yes.
No, in deference to Deputy Speaker Rufus, I think he wants
Okay.
he wanted to be acknowledged first before me, sir.
Okay,
It's okay.
go ahead. Yes, Rufus.
Yeah,
So,
Mr. Chairman D, may I move that the explanatory note of House Bill House Bill 2328, sponsored by the Honorable Chairman Eric L. Olivares, that the explanatory note be considered as his sponsorship speech. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, DS Rufus. Perhaps we are ready now to act on the two resolutions. Do I hear a motion to adopt House Resolution 2319 and 2328, subject to style?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Boss Manny.
I move that this honorable committee adopt House Resolution 2318 as sponsored by our distinguished colleague Congressman Yul Serbonieto, and House Resolution number 2328 as sponsored as introduced by Mr. Elic Olivares and spoken in behalf of, by Deputy Speaker Rufus Rodriguez be adopted by this committee. I so move, Mr. Chair.
I second the motion.
The motion, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Having moved and seconded, the House Resolution 2319 and 2328 are hereby adopted, subject to style, and their corresponding committee reports are hereby approved. Thank you and congratulations to the authors. Now let us proceed with our House Resolutions 233 and 2380. House Resolution 233 calls for the investigation of the incentives received by gymnast Carlos Shulo in view of his gold and silver medal win at the 50th Artistic Gymnastics World Championships. Especially DS Eric Martinez seeks to determine whether or not the provision of the Republic Act 10699 or the National Athletes Coaches Incentive and Benefits Act is implemented accordingly to the intent of Congress. Another is House Resolution 2380, which calls for the investigation on the alleged harassment of Patafa against Olympian pole vaulter EJ Obiena. The conduct of this inquiry is in aid of legislation, as the committee seeks to review the relationship between PSC, POC, and the NSA pursuant to Republic Act 6847 or the Philippine Sports Commission Act. It is also within the oversight function of the committee to review and determine whether or not laws and programs are being implemented and carried out in accordance with the intent of Congress. The Congress, through this committee, likewise has a sworn duty to see to it that all funds of government are wisely spent and disbursed pursuant to the existing laws. I'm primarily concerned about the welfare and development of our athletes, since they are essentially dependent upon financial support of both government and private sectors. On the personal note, as a sports enthusiast myself, it is quite disheartening to hear dispute or controversy such as this, especially if brought to the public domain. I'm sure that this has adverse effects on the training and well-being of our athletes and brings disrepute not only to the association but also to the entire country itself. Just the reports alone about offers made to EJ to embrace other citizenship not only raise serious alarm bells, but speak a lot about the state of affairs, not only of the sports sector, but sadly about us as people. The issues at hand are very concerning, while we are breaking our heads, finding ways and means, devoting sacrifice material sources to promote grassroots sports to recruit talent. Apparently, we do not know how to take care of this, of what we have already. With due respect to all concerned, we do not want to see another Wesley So of chess, who obviously, out of expiration and frustration, was constrained to take allegiance to another country. Ideally, sports should bring about or inculcate values that our people should emulate. And when things like this occur, the most especially when played out in the media for the whole world to witness. It is difficult to repair damaged reputation, restore and cordial and harmonious relationship that should permeate in the organization and most especially imposes a very heavy burden upon the athletes concerned. I would like to think that Patafa and all other athletes belong to its membership is a one big family where mutual respect and support, to my mind, should at all times be observed. I hope this investigation will help our national athletes and sports sector in general and enable us to adopt remedial measures to obviate a repetition of this problem. At this point, I hereby direct our committee secretary to administer their oaths today in today's hearing. Consent?
May we request all our first persons, the officials of the Philippine Sports Commission, the Philippine Olympic Committee, the Commission on Audit, the Gymnastics Association of the Philippines, the officers of PAFA, Pole vaulter J. Obiena and his team, and other resource persons, to please rise and raise your right hand. Please repeat after me. I state
I,
your full name.
Berto
Do solemnly swear to tell the
solemnly
truth,
swear
the whole
to
truth,
tell the truth, the whole
and
truth,
nothing but the truth
and nothing
in
nothing
this
but the
House
truth
investigation.
in this
in
house
this
So
house
help me God.
investigation.
to help
Thank
me.
you.
So help me God. Thank you.
Thank you, Comsec. May we request the Comsec now to please read the title of House Resolution 2333.
Initial consideration of House Resolution number 2333 entitled Resolution Directing the Committee on Youth and Sports Development to investigate in aid of legislation the incentives provided by law to be received by gymnast Carlos Yulo for winning gold and silver medals at the 50th Artistic Gymnastics World Championships, introduced by Deputy Speaker Eric Martinez, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Comsec. Deputy Speaker Eric Martinez is not around. I think her mother passed today, so he won't be able to make it. Can someone sponsor for him, please? Boss Manny?
Mr. Chair, yeah. I would like to move that we defer action on House Resolution 2333 until the author is present to say his
cannot defer.
exploratory speech. In the absence of the author, Mr. Speaker.
Second. Second the motion.
Mr.
I
Chair,
second the motion.
Okay.
Considering that we have our resource persons, can we hear them?
can I
Boss
check?
Manny, considering our resource persons are here already, can we just hear them and then defer it after?
Mr. Chairman,
Suspend it after?
The president.
Yes,
Mr.
yes,
Chairman.
Rufus.
yes, we need to have the presence of D.S. Martinez because he's the author. And whatever the resource persons will say, there has to be here. They have to be heard by the author himself because this is precisely the author has some facts and data regarding this issue. So I would suggest that we defer this in consonance with Congressman Manny and let us invite the resource persons once the author is there
Already
because the author has the right to reply to all the resource persons.
Mr. Chair, I just want to question one thing. May I?
Yes, Ma'am Cynthia.
Yes. Is that Carlos Yulo received his funds from Philippine Sports Commission for his gold and his silver medal, but I think it is lacking because he only received 750,000 instead of 1.5 million.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
I've talked to DS Eric this morning. He said he just wants to make sure that Carlos has received everything because he had reports that hindi nga natanggap. So he wants to find out why. That's why we scheduled this meeting today. But unfortunately, his mother passed, so he won't be able to attend with us today.
Can you listen to PSC?
So, Mr. Chair,
Yes, Boss Manny.
considering the circumstance, maybe we can just, for purposes of clarity, maybe we can just request the Gymnastics Association through Ma'am Cynthia and the athlete informed to make a deposition. And until the author has seen that deposition, then I don't believe and I don't think that we can act on it in the absence of the author. With all due respect, Mr. Chairman and Deputy Speaker Rufus, with your concurrence. Thank you.
I concur, Mr. Chairman, to defer this hearing on this resolution so that we can always hear Deputy Speaker Martinez. Thank you.
Okay. Can we have a 1-minute suspension? We'll just discuss for a while something.
Ma'am Cynthia,
Yes, hi Manny, how are you?
I'm okay po. In deference to our author who is a deputy speaker, I believe that he should be physically present to hear your side if ever. Otherwise, siguro you can make a written deposition with regards to your manifestation po, kung pwede. And the athlete, si Carlos Yulo, kung gano'n ang...
No, it's
I don't
it's
know.
my questioning only why 750,000. If they have an answer to that, if Ramirez can answer that, I'm happy. I received the check already. I'm sending it to his bank account in Land Bank. But when I saw the check, I said, I thought he's getting 1.5 million.
Alam mo sir, ano talaga, napasalitain na lang natin.
Okay, with the motion of Boss Manny and DS Rufus, let us just reschedule this House resolution. But can we ask POC and the Gymnastics Association to submit documents? PSC to submit documents
We will do that, sir.
on this, please.
We'll submit.
Okay, thank you. So let us move on to our
Thank you.
next House
Take care.
resolution. Comsec, can you read the title, please?
House Resolution number 2380 entitled A Resolution for the House Committee on Youth and Sports Development to conduct an investigation in aid of legislation on the alleged harassment of the Philippine Athletic Track and Field Association against Olympian Walter Ernest Obiena, and to review the rules and relationships of the national sports associations and other stakeholders under Republic Act number 6847 or the Philippine Sports Commission Law, authored by Congressman Rolando Valeriano, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Comsec. Can we now call on the author, Congressman Valeriano, 2nd District of Manila, if he's around? Wala din yata. Boss Manny, can you do it, please?
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Boss
Manny.
Well, in the previous manifestation I had, I opted that we defer action on House Resolution 2333. But in the case of House Resolution 2380, since the athlete involved is a fellow Tondonian, tiga Tondo po I would and I would like to manifest to this honorable committee that I represent my fellow Congressman Roland Valeriano as a co-author of this House resolution, Mr. Chair. With your permission.
Go ahead, Boss Manny. Go ahead.
Opo. When it comes to the explanatory speech, can we adopt the explanatory speech of Congressman Valeriano, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Second.
Okay. And as a follow-up, can I make a brief manifestation, Mr. Chair?
Go ahead, Boss Manny.
Okay. Thank you, distinguished chairman, my fellow colleagues in the 18th Congress, especially Deputy Speaker Rufus Rodriguez, my colleague in Manila, Yul Servo, Congressman Ian D, if I'm not mistaken, and all others. Of course, the very distinguished PSC chairman, Butch Ramirez, my fellow NSA Administrator Philip Wico, Ma'am Cynthia, and all other guests, magandang hapon po at Merry Christmas. I, with members of this honorable committee, have concerns on these issues sounding a world-class national athletes of ours. I'm referring to no other than Mr. E.J. Obiena and the NSA. We can all agree that our athlete, Mr. Obiena, has brought so much honor to our country. Being a finalist in the recent Tokyo Olympics, he spent most of the past 5 years alone, training overseas, full-time year-round, away from his family and loved ones to pursue in the pursuit of winning an Olympic medal for our country. From the documents submitted and what we have heard from the news, I am personally confused why Patapa all of a sudden just ordered Mr. Obiena to return the money received from the government, which was to cover his training expenses, seemingly even without any formal investigation and final findings on the matter. It is also quite confusing to understand the kind of arrangement our sports agencies had with Mr. Obiena. It appears that Mr. Obiena was made to handle and be the one to make direct payments to persons involved in his training, which in the ordinary course of things are supposed to be handled by our sports agencies. It is our goal here to ensure that in the implementation of our sports programs, we give full support to our athletes. But at the same time, that we should not forgo proper agencies because public funds are involved here. So I'd like to get to the bottom of this controversy. And for the meantime, I will reserve making any judgment until I hear the statements of all our invited resource persons, Mr. Chair. Also, in addition, I'd like to make mention that I have, with modesty aside, Mr. Chair, I have worn a lot of hats. One of which was being a small-time athlete, being a sports administrator, a member of the National Sports Association, as head of Amateur Boxing Association of the Philippines from 1988 to 2007, and also as an NOC member, from an auditor, executive board member, second vice president, hanggang naging first vice president ako. So more or less, the sporting community is such a small community, and we know each other by our faces. And alam mo, I am surprised to find out that during our time, 1 decade ago, we have done this. This has already happened to us in the time of Leopoldo Cervantes, in the time of Ruel Velasco, in the time of Mansueto Velasco. And during those times, we were able to get Olympic medals. And wala pong ganitong klaseng bruhaha, lalo sa pagdating ng pananalapi. But now, being a member of Congress, I think it is worthy in aid of legislation that we seek and go to the bottom of this to find out bakit after 2 decades, nangyari ito bigla. Now that it is so hard for an athlete and for an administrator to put and be in the pedestal of the likes of E.J. Obiena. As far as I know, in the field of pole vault, he is the first Filipino to get this accolade. And so why do this now? So Mr. Chair, like what I mentioned, I will like to defer action or any comment for the moment, and Just a brief manifestation on what I have just stated. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr.
Thank
Chairman.
you. Thank you, Boss Manny. Yes, DS Rufus.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I heard Chairman Manny, and this resolution is centered on the Philippine Athletic Track and Field Association, PATAFA. And therefore, I would like to seek the Honorable Chair's approval that first our President of the PATAFA, Philip Huico, be heard. And since this representation is the chairman of the PATAFA, wherein these particular allegations are being centered on, then I will be able to also speak, Mr. Chairman, after President Philip Huico. So move, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, DS Rufus, actually, we'll ask EJ to talk first and one of his representative, and then we'll get your statements of the PATAFA officers.
Mr. Chairman, we have to hear first PATAFA. It is the one to be alleged to have been harassing some people. And so there's already a resolution. And so we hear first Philip Huico. We can hear EJ, of course. But
Okay,
at this point,
okay, let's hear EJ and then let's hear PATAFA.
we have heard the sponsorship speech, the co-authorship of Manny, Congressman Manny. Let us hear now PATAFA Chairman Philip Huico, not EJ Obiena.
Okay, DS Rufus, thank you. I understand that medyo mainit tong topic na to, so I remind all our resource persons that you are under oath, that the rights of witness and resource persons, including the rights against self-incrimination, shall be respected. So, having said that, the chair would like to recognize. Okay, let's give it first to PATAFA because they're the one being accused, or EJ is also being accused. But let's give chance first to PATAFA, then we'll give the floor to EJ. You want to say something first, DS Rufus, before President Huico?
I yield to President Huico, Mr. Chairman, to be able to give his side because PATAFA is the center of this resolution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. President Huico, you're now recognized for your statement, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, especially to Congressman Manny Lopez, who says that we should get to the bottom of this. And we will contribute our share to get to the bottom of this by providing facts. Facts, not just opinions, but facts. So thank you, members of the House of Representatives, for the opportunity to openly discuss in aid of legislation, among others, the facts. Again, let me speak the facts through documents of the alleged harassment by PATAFA or PATAFA of Paul Volcker, EJ Obiena, and member of the National Training Pool of PATAFA. We truly cherish this moment. For too long, since November 21, our own athlete, whom we have nurtured starting from 2012, has, with the aid of certain professional, social, and mainstream practitioners or influencers, and certain political and sports interest groups, went on a mass and social media campaign. With that single act, this athlete instigated his own campaign of harassment, which he accuses now PATAFA of, and in effect, jumped the gun on his own mother federation, while we maintained our silence in deference precisely to an independent investigative administrative committee created by the PATAFA Board of Trustees to look into this exclusively internal matter gather the facts, and hopefully, with the facts on hand, establish the truth. Gentlemen and ladies, you established the Philippine Sports Commission, and the Philippine Sports Commission is mandated to exercise financial oversight over its financial assistance to NSAs like Patapa. In exercise of this oversight, we have to look into this matter and, as Congressman Lopez said, get to the bottom. What started this Patapa investigation? Why are we here? In early 2014, Emerson and Janet Obiena, parents of this athlete, of EJ, requested me with their athlete son in tow to be introduced to legendary pole vaulter Sergey Bubka at the lobby of the Sofitel Hotel. The Obiena parents, who are presently associated with Patapa as coach in the case of Emerson and as coordinator of our flagship grassroots program, Kids Athletics, Janet. Okay, in the case of, okay, I introduced them to Sergey, including and most especially their athlete son, who wanted to train at the then pole vault training center of the IAAF, the International Association of Athletics Federations, now changed to World Athletics. The international federation that governs the sport of athletics worldwide. I asked Sergey at that time if he could help me get a scholarship for the young Obiena at the training center in Formia, Italy, where he could train under Vitaly Petrov, Sergey's fellow Ukrainian and his own coach in the 1980s. Bubka, Sergey agreed. I wrote IAAF for the scholarship. It was approved with the help of Bubka, and by 2014, this young man was in the training center as an IAAF scholar. In 2017, Obiena's scholarship with the IAAF expired. From 2018 to 2021, Patapa and the PSC covered Petrov's monthly salary. On September 8, 2021, I talked to Bubka by phone to arrange for a telecon with Petrov so I could discuss with Petrov his training plan for Obiena, who presented his training and competition program plan earlier to me and to some Patapa executives on August 31, 2021. Obiena's father, Emerson, was present in that 2-hour-long presentation. I'm going through this history carefully, for as we all now realize, that short 10-minute meeting with Bubka and the Obienas may have altered the course of Philippine athletics and how some of its stakeholders influenced the character development of the young Obiena, who proudly announces that he always speaks with candor. Therefore, candor is what is desired, and candor is what we will have. Who is Sergey Bubka? Sometime in his week-long November media blitz, Obiena asked in a mocking tone, "Who is Bubka?" Obiena completely ignored and in very untraditional Filipino manner, totally set aside his debt of gratitude for Bubka. Bubka is presently the senior vice president of my and the young Obiena's mother federation, the World Athletics, before whom Obiena announced in his mass and social media blitzes, he lodged a complaint against Patafa. Bubka is also president of the Ukrainian National Olympic Committee, counterpart of the Philippine Olympic Committee, which through its ethics committee launched its own investigation on the same thing, harassment, who was probably encouraged by some sports officials to do so since they will provide him help and support based on text messages we encountered. Bubka is honorary member of the International Olympic Committee. Who is Vitaly Petrov? I understand he is here. He was coach of Bubka when the latter was still an athlete and the reigning pole vault champion. He agreed to coach Obiena at Patafa's and Bubka's request. He is, I think, 75 years old. He celebrated his birthday recently, and the one who approached Bubka about his unpaid fees. Now, you will see the apostilled statement or affidavit of Mr. Bubka. I will just run through it if the print is loud or small. On September 6, 2021, these are all facts, I texted Bubka for the telephone number of Petrov, whom I wanted to talk to regarding the new season and training plan and competition programs for Obiena in order to have an idea of the financial requirements to be presented to the PSC up to at least the end of December 2022 or next year, and eventually the 2024 Paris Olympics if he qualifies or what would want to aim to qualify for the Olympics. In addition, I wanted to have a personal and comprehensive conversation with Petrov, whom I met briefly at Doha, Qatar in 2019. Obiena simply ignored me when I asked him to arrange a WhatsApp call and several calls with Petrov. He was not even willing to share Petrov's number. Since, quote, Petrov doesn't just talk to anyone. He is a star maker. He is busy. He doesn't speak good English and so forth and so on. And other reasons designed to prevent a personal conversation with Petrov. On September 8th, Bubka responded to my text and called me and I asked him to arrange that call with Petrov so I can personally congratulate him for the work that he was doing and to fulfill my oversight, my function, my oversight and monitoring role as president of the federation that endorses his fees to the PSC for payment. It was during this call that Bubka told me Petrov says your boy has, quote, money problems. And I was curious and I asked the specifics of the so-called money problems. And that the PSC, and I told him that the PSC and Patafa were paying for Petrov's fees. Obama, his own Obiena's board and lodging, competition expenses, car hire, and everything defined in the PSC's board resolution, except for personal expenses like grooming, clothing, and other expenses. Buka also stated that Patafa agreed to the practice of an informal agreement between Obiena and Petrov, but at some point, Patafa pressed Obiena for a contract between Patafa and Petrov, and Obiena said that, quote, it is impossible to sign any contracts with Vitaly because Vitaly didn't know English and already has contracts with other federations, which prevents him from entering into other agreements. Eventually, Mr. Obiena presented a contract, quote unquote, signed by Vitaly. Buka then told me there appears to be a serious problem, and he said that he had to get Petrov into the conversation to join us in a three-way conversation the next day, meaning September 9, so that Petrov and I could discuss the revelations. At the start of the conversation, Petrov claimed he had not received his coaching fees from Patafa PSC since 2018. The three of us talked on September 9th from around 2 to 3 p.m. Manila time, and after a 1-hour talk break at Bubka's request, we regrouped. Joining us in the second half was the corporate secretary of Patafa, and whose presence Bubka requested to provide specific, very specific information on what we paid to Petrov, when, where the fees paid, what was the total amount paid since 20. In his second round, Petrov reiterated fees, did not sign any acknowledgement receipts of payment, and was not aware of any contractual arrangement with Patafa. He said he was shocked by the information had been to him and how Obiena could do this to him. He was never introduced to any Patafa official, and every time he asked Obiena why he was not being paid any coaching fees, Obiena dismissed the question by saying that Patafa was not capable of paying his fees. By the way, all of these are in that signed statement, which we are flashing, part of it we are flashing on the screen. Obiena added that the money allocated by PSC and the, quote, Olympic Commission for his fees were used by Patafa for something else. In other words, as concluded, as mentioned by Bubka, as Bubka said, this money was stolen by Patafa. All throughout these two phone calls, Bubka was present and was translating whenever I said I do not understand completely Petrov's English. Bubka sent in his notarized statement that I could not, quote, I could not believe that such thing could happen nowadays and that EJ could manipulate both of them, Petrov, Philip, and Vitaly, the two people who always tried to make the best for him and to bring him to the place which he talks, which he takes nowadays in sports. But as Vitaly said, told me, and translated into Bubka, by Bubka into English, EJ built a wall between them, Philip and Patafa and him. During our conversation, Bubka said, quote, this is embarrassing for you, your country, our sport, and for me, for him. I go all over the world and tell them how how the center, the training center, and Petrov help athletes of poor countries, small countries, achieve world-level performance. And then he said, please recover Vitaly's money. Bubka also agreed to prepare a statement and have it properly apostilled, which is what you have here. Now, we go to Petrov's signed statement, which I'm sure he will talk about later. When asked after Obiena's scholarship expired in 2017, Petrov said, I have continued to coach Obiena without any fees. I saw the potential rather, in him. Besides, I promised to make Obiena a professional athlete. Their term for elite athlete is professional athlete. To the federation and to Sergey. He promised that to the federation and to Sergey. And I couldn't stop coaching Obiena because he had no money to pay. As he said, he received the money from the federation, but only for his personal expenses. Petrov added that Obiena and said some money was allocated for his coaching fee and sent to Patafa, but the Patafa used the money for other purposes. In other words, again, as stated by Bubka in his translation to Vitaly to Bubka, the money was stolen by Patafa and Obiena did not receive anything. Close quote. I told Petrov and Bubka that these were very, very serious allegations and that they need to be looked into. I asked him if he was willing to sign a statement on a statement corroborating what he verbally said. Petrov agreed and asked if he will be asked to testify and if he will be required to come to the Philippines during his testimony, and if it comes through, and if required, who would pay for his expenses. Bubka requested that I personally, again, recover Petrov's fees. Now, what were the funds disbursed to Obiena? This is at the core of the investigation, of the evaluation, and this harassment thing is a side issue, which is being brought up to cover this main basic issue so that we do not get to see the bottom of this as Congressman Lopez so desires. May I ask you to take a look at the table displayed on your screens. you will see the breakdown of all the amounts and schedule of funds released to Obiena versus the schedule of his payments to Petrov. Okay, few seconds. I will guide you along. This schedule came from Petrov himself in a document, in an email. If you look, May 2018, there was a release of 249,097.60 all the way down to February 2019, August 2020. This is part of the 40 million that the PSC, the Patafa, the government has spent on Mr. Obiena since 2016, 2017 in pursuit of his Olympic and the country's Olympic goal. 40 million. On the other hand, the following are the payments of Obiena to Italy. September 2020, so you see the amounts here. Okay, I'm sure one of Obiena's team, Mr. Lafferty, has some other schedule. No, please note that Obiena's first payment of 3,000 euros to Petrov was in September 2020, or 28 months, 2 years and 4 months after he received the first release for Petrov's fees in May 2018. June, July, August, September, and all of that. Obiena had already received euros 85,000, about 5 million pesos, before he made his first payment to his coach in September 2020. I think this was the time when he said that Patafa he gave this and said, sorry, this is the only thing that I can afford because Patafa used the money of euro 3,000 and that it came from his sponsor. 2020 of euro 3,000 or 180,000 pesos, or about 3.5% of what he received, not even 5%. Now, anticipating what Lafferty might bring up, he might bring up his euros 900 payments for January and April 2019. These were not in Petrov's list of payments. Petrov did not include it there. Third, there are acknowledgement letters for Petrov's coaching fees that were sent to Patafa, and this one you have to see. Patafa on October 8, 2019, for the months of May 2019 to November 2019. So the report of October 8, 2019 already included November 2019, the next month. But it was nauna pa yung buwan na parating. Transaction records sent by Petrov. However, again, this is from Petrov. Documents ito ha. However, indicated that that the first payment was done in September 2020. Please note additionally that the acknowledgement letters in number 3 that I mentioned earlier were, as I said, given in advance, okay, ahead of November 2019. Obiena, number 4. Obiena cannot say or feign ignorance, as he always kept on saying in so many of his media appearances, that Petrov's fees were, that he did not know what these were for. Petrov's fees were already embedded in the 249,000, as you will see. The Obienas, mainly Janet, who is in the office, who was at the time the auditor of Patafa and coordinating with us, with the staff there for EJ's payments, EJ's checks, getting those checks, getting from PSC and all of that. The Obienas were the ones who submitted their budget, EJ's budget. And it was clear what expense items were covered by each amount. They were the ones who specified that. Okay, number 5, let me quote the Patafa Athletes Handbook that merely reinforces existing, these are existing regulation reminds us, these are regulations of policy that any funds spent for the benefit of the athlete or coaches are public funds.
The indulgence of our members.
Which by government handle. What is the proof of transfers of funds to Obiena? You will see in the screen again screenshots of proof of transfers to Obiena, such as deposit slips, copy of checks, PSC logbooks that show that the funds were transmitted to Obiena. Now, moving forward, part of this resolution says, how do we smoothen the relationship among NSAs, ACAPA, and others? First, undoubtedly, the liquidation system is not a perfect system. Definitely, it is not a perfect system, but we learn as we go along the way. So, first, I would suggest to Mr. Obiena and his team that they mentioned before that they were harnessing the services of Price, Waterhouse, and Coopers, a very big auditing firm, and which I hired for an international volleyball tournament. Why don't they, Price Waterhouse, work with PSC and even COA and go over these documents for an independent audit to validate all these things that we are saying? 8, B. Maybe moving forward, PSC can obtain a comprehensive bond for the designated disbursing officer for athletes who set up overseas training camps for more than 6 months. We set PSC, I know, sends disbursing officers to delegations, huge delegations, let's say SEA Games, Asian Games, all of that.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Finally, I'm finishing. Just one sentence. PSC to require NSAs to open joint accounts with athletes who will undertake overseas training camps for more than 6 months. Where are we now? It seems as it is, there is an existing liquidation report over there at PSC, which says Petrov was paid and which contains signatures of Petrov. But then Petrov says he was just paid now, and they say they was. So what happened here? There are 2 liquidations, there are 2 payments. That is what that needs to be looked into. Okay? Because as I said, what triggered this investigation was the conversation I had with both Petrov and Bubka, and we started looking at all of these things. Mr. Chairman, I thank you for this opportunity, and I thank everyone for listening. I'm sorry I took up so much time, and as I promised, we will present the truth. We will present the documents. Thank you.
Thank you,
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Wico. Can you submit to the committee the written copy of your statement, please?
Pleasure,
Before
Mr.
we,
Chairman.
before we proceed, can we recognize the president, the presence of our Deputy Speaker, Abraham Bambol Tolentino, also the president of the POC, Congressman Arnie Fontavella, 4th District of Camarines Sur, and Congressman Faustino Inodi, 5th District, 6th District of Isabela.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Boss
Rufus.
Rufus.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, let me thank you for giving the opportunity to our President, President Philip Huico, who was able to present the side of Patafa in this controversy. Now, let me just focus on the paragraph in the resolution, which states, whereas such actuations of Patafa are tantamount to harassment, an indication of the NSA's failure to promote his welfare, or worse, even a sabotage of the career of a distinguished national athlete. First of all, Mr. Chairman, Patafa has no intention to sabotage our own dear athlete. We also have not failed to promote precisely EJ Obiena received that IAAF scholarship, and later on Patafa was giving the payment for his coach. And even much more are we harassing Mr. Obiena. So to traverse these issues, Mr. Chairman, our president already stated all the facts in relation to how Patafa gave the coach fees to EJ Obiena. Let me just say, for a personal note, I watched EJ Obiena in the Tokyo Olympics via the coverage by TV. And every time he would jump, Mr. Chairman, I would pray. Because in the finals, which I watched, when he was trying to get 5.8 meters, because he hurdled on his last try 5.7 meters. And his best record, his personal best is 5.87. I prayed hard that he will have the three chances to get it. And unfortunately, even on the third, he did not do it. But the good thing was that there was a fourth chance because the bar was moving while the clock was running. And he was given the other chance. And I prayed for him. And I really wanted EJ Obiena of the Philippines to be able to hurdle 5.8 and probably have a podium finish. But unfortunately, things may happen like that. But I am really sure that in the coming years, we can see Obiena, a successful Filipino athlete that will be able to get medals for us. However, Mr. Chairman, after the Tokyo Olympics, I have received, the Patafa were able to receive, and me personally, on September 20, Mr. Chairman, September 20, first on September, let me see this. No, on July 10, 2021, July 10, I have here the list of questions and answers of Vitaly Petrov, signed on every page, 1, 2, in seriatim. It has been signed. And let me just therefore give to you the salient answers in relation to this issue of non-payment of the coach, so that it will be short and straight. Mr. Chairman, on number 33, the question was, did Mr. Vitali receive his monthly coach fees from Patafa for the years of 2018, 19, 20, and 2021? Answer of Vitaly Petrov, no, I did not. Next question, number 34. So this is whether he received from Patafa. Of course, he did not, because the money was given to EJ Obiena. 34. Did Mr. Vitali sign any document to confirm that he received his monthly coach fees from Patafa, which was paid through EJ for the years 2018, 2019, 2020, and 2021? Answer of Vitaly Petrov, no, I didn't. Number 35, questionnaire. How did Mr. Vitali receive his monthly coach from fees from Patafa for the years as I've stated? Answer, I didn't receive monthly coach fees anytime. Signed, this page was signed by Vitaly Petrov. Number 37, why did EJ tell Mr. Vitali when we paid him, this is now the 4,000 that was paid in October and November 20, while the payments given to Vitali through EJ was done in 2019. The answer of Vitali Petrov, Mr. Chairman D. The answer of Petrov, last year, I received 2 sums. And not even from EJ, from James Lafferty, parenthesis, sponsor of EJ. One on the 23rd of November 2020 in the sum of 10,363 and 75 euros. And the other on the 30th of November 2020 in the sum of 10,475 euros. As I understand, that money was for the coaching of EJ from his sponsor, not from Patafa. So that is the answer there. And in the proper time, Mr. Chairman, I will mark this as Exhibit A, Rodriguez Patafa Chairman. The entire questionnaire composed of about 8 pages, with his signature in all pages on the last page, be marked, Mr. Chairman, as Exhibit A, Rodriguez, Mr. Chairman, as Chairman of Patafa. And let me go to the other page on clear questions on whether Vitali received the money given by Patafa to AJ. 41, I'm citing specific paragraph, 41. Why did Mr. Vitali not demand his monthly coach fees from EJ? Answer of Vitali, I saw that EJ didn't have money, a lot of money himself. Patafa, from his words, from EJ's words, couldn't pay, could not pay. So I did not insist. There are others, Mr. Chairman, and this is one of the last, 49, because this is a 52 questionnaire answered directly by Vitali and signed by him in every page. It says, why did Mr. Vitali discover from the discussion with, what did Mr. Vitali discover from the discussion with Mr. Sergey Bobka and Mr. Philip Eliahueco? Question. Answer. It was a shock for me to find out that all these years, the Patafa paid me some money. I still could not believe that EJ could take this money for his personal purpose, as our relations were always not only professional, but friendly. Mr. Chairman, the direct answers of Vitali Petrov would show that there is basis for President Huico to go into an investigation, which we are doing. But because we respect President, Chairman, Philippine Sports Commission, akong amigo, Chairman Butch Ramirez of Davao, we are suspending the investigation because we would want to respect Chairman Butch in his mediation, because we want a win-win situation here. We want to have EJ continue to be able to give us this medal, at the same time make his integrity intact. We may have medalists in the world, but if there are questions of character, of integrity, how can we make him a model to our own young athletes? That is the point of Patafa. This is not to harass EJ, because we believe in him as far as his athletics for pole vault is concerned, and we want him to succeed. I want him to succeed, but there has to be answers on the issue of character and integrity, because we have clearly have here this questionnaire. Mr. Chairman, I ask for a ruling that this particular questionnaire of consisting of about 8 pages signed by Vitali be marked as Exhibit A, Rodriguez.
Yes, thank you, DS Rufus. Can the Patafa submit the questionnaire to the committee, please?
Yes,
Mr.
and
Chair.
through this Zoom, there is already now a Exhibit A. Now let's go to Exhibit B. Chairman Manny, kunti lang, no? We'll just able to finish. This will be
Of course.
directly.
For my
Yeah.
mentor.
We're not fighting here. We are trying to go to, as you have said, to the bottom of things, and we want to go there because we are concerned about our program in the athletics. Now, Mr. Chairman, let me now go to the apostille. Now, what is an apostille? An apostille document, Mr. Chairman, is one executed in this country wherein it is also translated to a language which is understood by the requesting party. And this apostille is by Sergey Bobka. I was in high school, Mr. Chairman. Sergey Bobka was the world champion That's why I will always remember him, Sergey Bubka. You know, Chairman is very young, so he may not remember Sergey Bubka. But I have that age to already know Sergey Bubka, world champion, Olympics, pole vault. Okay, so here is the next document which I will have to be marked as Exhibit B, Rodriguez Patafa, Chairman. Now, this is in Ukraine, yes. This Ukraine document, consisting of 3 pages, has been signed with the Ministry of Justice of Ukraine, stating that this is authentic. Okay, that's the 3rd page of this apostille. An apostille document is a document that by the convention of the Apostille Convention had been authenticated as to signature and content. Okay, so Toledo predicate. Then, attached to this apostille of the Ukrainian language is the translation from Ukrainian into English affidavit. Now we can see now, we can read now kasi English na. Affidavit Ukraine, I, the undersigned Bubka Sergei Nazarovich, born on December 4, 1963, passport, so on and so forth, hereby declares solemnly and sincerely. Let me go to the direct statement of Bubka about the giving of the money by Patafa to EJ and the non-remittance of EJ to the coach Vitaly Petrov. Okay, here. Number 12 paragraph of affidavit of Sergei Bubka. It says here, his own language translated to English. On September 9, 2021, during conversation between me, Philip, that is Philip Fuico, and Vitaly, that is Petrov, it was revealed that Patafa paid Vitaly not directly the monthly salary through EJ, but on the other hand, EJ claimed to Vitaly that he did not receive that money, and therefore he did not give any money to Vitaly. Now, clearly, this shows, Mr. Chairman, that as shown by President Fuico, the remittances through the banks are all intact, that these monies on these months were given to EJ. And this is also very, very proven by all these documents that the Patafa have, no? Pataka has. Then it says, the sentence, EJ claimed to Vitaly that he did not receive that money, and therefore he did not give any money to Vitaly. In the meantime, Vitaly said that he received, yes, the 4,000 euro from EJ in 2020. Only, in this particular case, only once. And then in the conversation, this is according to Sergei Bubka, Philip describes the situation that Patapa has paid Vitaly the monthly fee through EJ in the amount of 2,000 euros every month since the beginning of 2018, Mr. Chairman. And now they are trying to increase this fee to 5,000 euros on the request of EJ. Period. Continuation of affidavit of Bubka. Vitaly said that he received about 4,000 euros in 2020 from EJ's sponsor. And it was the only payment for his work which he received from EJ. Now let's jump to the last paragraph because these are clear indications that even Sergei Bubka, talking with Vitaly, confirmed with Vitaly, he did not receive these coaching fees. And lastly, 18. Now, this is what Sergei Bubka, the world famous pole vault champion, Olympics champion. I was always happy to see how quickly EJ achieved success under Vitaly's coaching and was happy with his results, for which he should be grateful to Vitaly. I agree with this. But I couldn't believe that such thing could happen nowadays and that EJ could manipulate, I will repeat the words of Sergei, and that EJ, but I could not believe that EJ could manipulate both of them, Philip and Vitaly, two people who always try to do the best for him and to bring him to the place he takes nowadays in sports. But as Vitaly told me, and I translated to Philip into English, EJ built a wall between them. Philip and Patafa with Vitali. And that is why Vitali and Philip and Patafa never communicated with each other. I am executing this affidavit to confirm the truth and veracity of the foregoing statements dated October 22, 2021, signed Bubka before the Notary Public of Kiev City, the capital of Ukraine, no Kovalenko N. Ye, private notary. And this particular document, Mr. Chairman, through an apostille dated October 28, the apostille stated that all of these are authentic on the records and also on the signatures. So, Mr. Chairman, finally, let me just state that Patafa will never do harm to its athletes as long as they have intact their integrity and their character. Because molding an athlete is not only winning medals, it is to be able to be truthful, to be candid with candor, be able to really do what is required of him. In this case, Patafa sent the monthly remittances 2,000 euros a month for 4 years. These were not given by EJ. Pardon me, AJ, you are listening, but we are going to hear you as this Congress, as this House, will hear everyone. But I have here the statements of your coach and also Sergey Bubka, what has happened. Mr. Chairman, Philip Yuico had served this country well. He was Secretary of Department of Agrarian Reform. The integrity of Philip Yuico, that's why I am very honored to be with him. He's the driving force of Patafa. And I am honored to be his chairman. I always guide our board on what is legal and what could be done. And in this particular investigation by the Patafa, there is basis. But we respect Chairman Butch, ikaw gid ani ang makatabang, so that we are respecting your mediation. And so, Mr. Chairman, I end my case. I have to leave because I have many activities. Manny knows that because election time na kini. So we are going to just go. But I would like to assure you, my dear colleagues, our valued resource persons, it is farthest from the mind of Patafa to harass anybody. We just want the truth to come out and EJ to be able to admit and to be able to accept these facts, because after all, people can change for the better. You are young, EJ, and we are expecting you to be able to accept the truth, and let us move forward. Our hearing by Chairman D is to be able not only to go to the truth of this matter, but to be able to proceed and let us have a situation where there will be, I see EJ now, I admire you, EJ, but then our documents will show that there is really a failure on your part. But nothing personal, EJ. I hope and I pray you will be world champion, and we will always support you. But on this matter, your chairman is having these documents, and so you can answer this. So, Mr. Chairman, finally, as I have requested, the statement of Vitali Petrov as Edex-A Rodriguez, I would like to ask that these apostilled documents of the Ukrainian language and the English translation of Sergey Bubka be marked as Exhibit B Rodriguez, and Exhibit C, all the remittances presented by Dr. Vito, that they be marked as Exhibit C. So therefore, I just wish AJ Obiena the best, because you are our own, you are a Filipino, we will always be with you. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, our distinguished colleagues, and thank you, our valued resource persons. Thank you very much, Chairman Butch. Mabuhay ka. Thank you.
Thank you, DS Rufus. Boss Manny,
Mr. Chair.
would you like EJ to make his statement first?
Yeah, before we give the floor to our national athlete, si EJ, I would like to thank, of course, Deputy Speaker Rufus for making a manifestation. I think you have been long enough together with Mr. Wico in the Philippine sports arena. I think what you have mentioned is hearing it from you, with all due respect, Mr. Wico, na I think we should all be happy that you have attained the stature and produced a national athlete in the caliber of EJ Obiena. Ako po, hindi naman, hindi ko naman binibitbit ang bangko ko po. Pero the facts will bear us out like what I am mentioning. Now, in modern Olympics, aside from the participation of the mandatory sports, ito po si EJ Obiena has been, hindi ko naman pinagtatanggol ano po, pero I think this will be a great honor for you and the country to have someone in his caliber participate in the Olympics. Ngayon, is that what we are going to return to him? What I'm trying to say, with all due respect, DS Rufus, I started sports when Sir J. Bubka was still part of the USSR until they dissolved in 1991 and they gained the independence. Ano po? But I may not be as long as you are in world sports. Pero sa munti ko pong nalalaman, yung performance nitong ating bata is worth emulating. Now, my question is this worth it? Are we washing dirty laundry? Now, ito the purpose of, I'm sure, for purposes of fairness. Let us hear now, ito naman pong the other side because ako po, kung ako rin nang magsasalita ng performance namin, na hindi ko naman sana kailangan ng banggitin, I am proud of the performance of any other athlete. And I'm sure you are also. And I'm sure we can work things out, especially after this meeting. That's why we are doing this in aid of legislation. Now, there are enough guidelines and safeguards to protect us. Kayo po, naging chairman kayo ng PSC. And I believe that when we got this Olympic medal of in Atlanta, nandun po kayo ho, Chairman Wico. And during that time, as a member of NSA, wala ho kaming nakuha sa PSC. And I was glad to state na hindi, at that time, we had all the reason to gripe. We did not gripe ho. And siguro naman, after hearing you for the past 30 minutes, we can give time to our national athlete, EJ Obiena, in the spirit of fairness. So move, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Boss Manny. EJ, you may now, you're now recognized.
Thank you very much, honorable members of the council po, and thank you very much for letting me have my time to speak po. First, I just want to say thank you to Sir Rufus. I truly believe what he said. An athlete should be a role model, not just in our performances as a medal and all these honors that we bring. It should be our character and our dignity. And I believe as an athlete, we set ourselves in a really high level of truthfulness. That's why the sport is fair and equal. That's why I take part into this. It's a very honorable thing to do, which is to be an athlete for the Filipino people po. Actually, I would just first want to start with if I may request my legal team to share a document that was signed by Mr. Vitali Petrov. I believe it was addressed to Patafa. I was copied in the email lang po. So is that a possibility?
Go ahead, EJ.
Attorneys. Thank you po. Thank you. Attorneys, can we share the yeah, thank you. I believe this is a letter first that was sent to Mr. Philip Elahuico himself, and I believe there's a retraction that my coach sent to Mr. Huico, or if I'm not mistaken, to the Patafa itself. And I just want to clarify po, before I forget, that I'm not complaining about Patafa. I believe a man's action is not defined by the association. So I'm not complaining about Patafa, and I'm just trying to explain my side of things po. And so here's, I believe, yeah, the most recent statement of my dear coach, Vitaly Petrov.
Can somebody read the statement? So um, it's
I
hard.
can
It's hard.
I can
It's
read it.
hard to read kasi here in the Zoom. So we can
Okay,
hear it. Thank you.
Okay, so at the top it's written final statement of Coach Vitaly Petrov. My name is Vitaly Petrov. I'm an Ukrainian national and presently coach of many Olympic athletes, including EJ Obiena, Philippines. I presently reside in Formia, Italy, location of the Olympic Training Center. I want to make this simple and final. This entire situation has severely impacted my ability to do my job and has severely affected EJ's mental state and ability to train. This must stop. This is destroying lives and careers for nothing. This is my final statement and supersedes and replaces all prior statement attributed to me. I will break this down into several key facts. Then it is case closed for my perspective. Number one, I coach for the love of coaching, not for purely money. Of course, I need money to live and to pay the bills, but I do not constantly monitor my finances and track every single payment with precision. I focus my time on coaching. I do not focus my time on financial management. From the coaching period of 2018 to present, my coaching fees for EJ have totaled as outlined by Patafa, 85,000 euros. Upon reviewing my bank records, I confirm with 100% certainly that EJ has indeed paid me not only 85,000 euros, but slightly more. I have no issues with EJ and his payments to me, and I confirm he has fully paid up to date. There is no doubt, number three, sorry. There is no doubt that sometimes EJ has paid me late and sometimes in irregular tranches, and he explained to me that this is caused primarily by Patafa sending his allowance and my payments months late. This does not bother me. I know EJ is trustworthy, and I know he is good for the money, and I know he is overburdened by administration to start with. I know that the money is late because of Patafa's inefficiency. As said, I coach because I love coaching. I don't focus on these matters. Point number four. I have never proactively complained to anyone on EJ and payments, specifically never to Patafa or to any Philippine sports official. What has happened is I have been directly approached by Philip Elahuico and heavily questioned, alongside my former athlete, Sergei Bubka, in a manner which confused me, and I felt pressure to answer in the way that they wanted me to answer. I now understand this was a focused mission to try and find fault with EJ. I answered and later signed a questionnaire because I was made to understand through their courteous questioning and reasoning that this would facilitate smoother payments. I was strict. I answered in the way because I honestly thought that it would help unburden EJ of this unnecessary role of managing my payments and that he could fully focus on training. I never could have imagined it would be used in the way it is used now as a weapon to destroy a promising career. To be clear, I never initiated, can I just a little bit scroll? Sorry, I can't. I never initiated any such discussion or documents. It was initiated wholly by Philip Ella Huico. So the last statement will be, I will close with the following statement. First, I have been fully paid by EJ Obiena. Secondly, I have no issue with EJ Obiena. Thirdly, I never have reached out to Patafa and I never initiated any complaint against EJ Obiena. Fourth, I was misled by the proactive questioning of Philip Elahuico and I mistakenly answered his questionnaire according to the way he wanted me to make EJ Obiena look like a criminal. Lastly, hereby formally withdrawal any prior statement or document associated to me. This is the only document that may be attributed to myself, and finally discloses this matter for me. I will be making no further statement. I have athletes who need me. I do not have more time to waste on this proverbial witch hunt. This was signed by Mr. Petrov in Formia, Italy, and I believe it was sent to the Pataka office, not directly to me. I was just copied to it po.
Please submit to the committee, EJ.
Okay po, I'll submit it po. May I continue to
Yeah,
my
continue. Continue.
to my statement po?
Mr. Chair,
So,
Mr. Chair, briefly, sorry to bother you.
Yes, Command.
EJ, with your permission, I really have to go also, no? Just like Kong DS Rufus. But all this is not helping our country any better, no? What I would like to say, although I will keep track of what is happening, is that what will be good for this is, I think, under the tutelage of Chairman Ramirez, we go back to mediation, and I think you can all reconcile, dahil no one will be a victor in this kind of brouhaha that we are having. Of course, with the concurrence of Chairman Butch, Mr. Chair, that is the manifestation that I would like to make, that we go back to the negotiating table, mediate, and reconcile, dahil this will not be good for all parties concerned, Mr. Chair. And I think it is a matter of accounting and administrative differences that we can all settle. So in behalf of my fellow Tondo, tiga Tondo ka pala, EJ.
yes po.
Yun lang let's do this for the sake of our country, Chairman Wico. And I'm sure there is no other patriot than you and EJ. And yun lang nais ko nga ipaabot dito. But I will keep track of the ongoing Chairperson Mike, if you will excuse me, because I really have to go also. Thank you. Thank
Yes,
you.
Bossman, your excuse. Thank you also. Actually,
Thank you
I
very
agree
much po.
with you na they have to reconcile. But since public government funds are being used, we have to find out kung bakit na-delay yung pagrating kay EJ, o pagdating sa coach niya, o pagdating sa Patafa, o paano nire-release ng PSC. So we have to find out these things. So maybe later we'll ask some questions about it.
Yes, finally, Mr. Chair, alam nyo I'd just like to make a short, another short manifestation. As with regards our experience, 1996, ang Olympics po sa Atlanta was held last August. We were using Atlanta as our base since as early as March. We never got any assistance from the government. Never, not one. And we got it through sponsorship. And hindi naman po tayo kailangan umabot sa ganito, but nonetheless, what is important is the primary goal is that we should give honor to our country, and pagkalimutan na natin yung mga maliliit na diferensya. So yun lang ang request ko. Chairman, thank you po, and good afternoon to everybody.
Thank you, Boss Manny. EJ, you may continue.
Thank you, Chairman. Last November 15 of 2021, I received 2 letters from my federation, the Philippine Athletics Track and Field Association, or PATAFA, asking me to do 2 things within 48 hours: to return 85,000 euros, corresponding to the entire amount due to my coach, Vitaly Petrov, for his services from 2018 to 2021, and to explain why I should not be removed from the national training pool. To say the least, it was a strange and alien set of requests. First, to return the amount embarked to Coach Petrov's salary that I have already paid him. And second, to justify my own existence as an athlete, based on a set of data and conclusion I was not even privy to. It would appear that my onset of this exchange, my federation, led by Mr. Philip Elahuico, had already judged me as guilty. They assumed that I stole the money, hence they were demanding the return of the entire amount. And for me to reason against the foregone penalty of expulsion, in short, I was guilty before I could even prove my innocence. In the newspapers, based on the leaks of whichever sources, may it be Patafa, I was portrayed as an embezzler and a theft. Mr. Huico and the Patafa besmirched my good name in public without even giving me an opportunity to be heard. I could not comply with the first request of returning all funds because all of the money was already paid to my coach from prior months and years of service, with majority of the amount paid months before. Still, I submitted a respectful and heartfelt letter defending my innocence. I asked why I was being persecuted and why my status as a Philippine athlete was being held into question. Hindi po ako magnanakaw. Ako po ay atletang Pilipino at marangal po ako. I am an athlete and my mission is to train and compete for the Philippines and for the Filipino people. In the face global competitions and competitors, have done these two jobs, I believe, diligently and with the help of my family, coaches, friends, sponsors, and God's grace and guidance. I've stood my ground and stayed the course. I have achieved success and performed decently in my sport. I consider it the highest honor to be a world-class Filipino athlete. I'm not, nor should I, be Filipino athlete, be the Patafa's paymaster. I'm not, in the words of Mr. Philip Huico, despite the gag order from the Philippine Sports Commission on November 24th, as per his interview on CNN on November 25th, his driver, nor am I his messenger or any employee under his charge. The funds we're talking about here are in the millions, not in his word, like money given to his drivers to buy batteries with expectation of change. We both have our proper roles to play in representing and raising the bar of our proud nation. If those roles are not performed efficiently, harmoniously, with decency, and with due process, and to the best of our abilities, then I consider that a great disservice to our country and its citizens. Have broken a 30-year-old Asian record, and I intend to break it again. I am the first Filipino pole vaulter to be ranked top 5 in the world, not probably since Miguel White won the bronze medal in the 400-meter hurdles back in 1936 Berlin Olympics. Has this happened to any Filipino of that matter? In all modesty, I have done the job that was accorded to me. My resolve is strong and unwavering, and I am far from done. It will take more than the current inefficiency and the wild accusations of certain people to break my will and my desire to uplift the Filipino spirit. I have found my footing. I have kept my faith. I will continue to run a good race. That, your honors, I can guarantee you and the Filipino people. Have done all this while being unduly burdened by Patafa to personally manage the payment of my coach and training staff. My records will show that I have received my funds late, sometimes months late. In that time, had taken my advancement and my personal fund to cover my expenses using my own, my family, my friend, in whichever case, to pull some funds. The current remittance process goes as such. When the pesos finally come from the PSC or the Patafa, the money that I need to Europe is deposited to my Philippine local bank in the Philippine currency, which is Philippine pesos. I am then the one tasked to handle currency conversion, burdened with overseas remittances charges, allocate and distribute the amounts to my coach, staff, and various living expenses and utilities. All wiring and bank conversion losses are charged to me. Ginampanan ko ang tungkulin ko bilang atletang Pilipino. Hindi ko po masabi kung nagampanan ni Mr. Huico o ng Patafa ang tungkulin nila bilang NSA. Sa akin po, nila ipinasa ang trabaho na dapat sila ang gumagawa. Wala po bang mas maayos na paraan para mapalakad ang sistemang ganito? Hindi po naman yata tama na mga atleta pa ang magbabayad ng kanilang training expenses at mag-a-advance. Hindi naman po yata reasonable na asahan kaming mga atleta, maging accountant ng Patafa. Ang trabaho po namin ay mag-training, mag-compete, at pinaka-importante is to compete at the highest level when we need to. Hindi ko naman po ito trabaho. Hirap na po akong gawin ito habang nasa kaligitnaan po ng ensayo, ng preparation, ng competition season. May mga time po na in less than a week, I'm traveling in three countries or 4 to compete. I cannot handle all this liquidation. That's my priority is focusing on my job as an athlete, is to perform at the best of my abilities. I do not know the motivation behind these letters and why they were issued in the first place. What I do know is that they have nothing to do with improving my skills as an athlete. I have been liquidating my expenses, and all my reports are with Patafa. The last one was submitted in late October 2021, specifically for payments to Coach Petrov that were made in November of 2020, together with corresponding records and transactions. The Patafa knew that I already paid a substantial portion of the money due to my coach, and yet still proceeded with these charges. It is the Patafa or whoever's jurisdiction that has a direct contract with my coach. Why should the money go through me in the first place? I have requested this multiple times. Pay my coach directly, pay my coach directly. In the most recent budget proposal, I even recommended pay my people directly because I do not want this job. I have carried out those additional duties as paymaster to the best of my abilities and tried to settle all my obligations on time, and all are in good faith. I could not say the same for Mr. Huico. They have never asked me for an explanation or clarification before issuing these malicious letters. Instead of giving me the benefit of the doubt, they did the exact opposite. All of this was said against a backdrop of moratorium imposed by the Philippine Sports Commission itself to hold on to press releases and let the proper authorities handle the situation internally. They claim that they were acting on the basis of a complaint lodged by the Honorable Sergey Bubka and my coach. But with all due respect to Mr. Sergey and his role to the Philippine sport, I wonder, he is not part of my team at the moment. He's not part of my preparation. And I only talk to him due to technical aspects of my vaulting. I really have no idea. My coach, who has a direct contract with Patafa, communicated to them in confidence in the belief that it would expedite the release of funds and that it would unburden me of my unnecessary and thankless role. He made the mistake of trusting Mr. Huico. When he realized that he had said was going to be used against me, he immediately issued a retraction, stood by my side in that press media release, acknowledged that he was fully paid and had no issues with me. This great nurturing man, Vitaly Petrov, is not just my coach. He treats me like his son, and I revert to him like a father. You want to attack me, go directly at me. Go at me. I said it multiple times. Don't go to my dad. Don't go to my parents. Go to me. I take personal offense in the manipulation of my coach, have went through a lot for me and for the country with such unsavory endeavors. The very basis of what Patafa says triggered the investigation does not exist anymore. With Vitaly's retraction in writing of everything that he has said or may have pressured been written, this begs the question, why is he still doing this? My difficulties with Mr. Huico started in 2017. I received an offer from a shoe and apparel sponsor that he wanted to be part of. His additional demands forced the sponsor to pull out of the deal. I ended up begging the sponsor not to drop me as an endorser. We also had an issue leading to Tokyo 2020 Olympics when I wasn't consulted with the selection of my support team. I had to stand my ground and fight for each and every member of my team just to make sure that the essential people that I would need in Tokyo would be there before the deadline of submission. We also had bureaucratic problems associated to the purchase of my equipment, my vaulting poles that I need to use. This resulted in my equipment arriving broken and useless just a week before my flight going to Tokyo. This could have been easily avoided as I have informed Mr. Huico and Patafa several months, more than 5 months before Olympics, that I need this equipment. I need it ahead of time. I need to train for it. I need to get used to it. I need to be able to compete with them. I could not help but get that impression that he was deliberately trying to sabotage the country's chances at an Olympic medal because of some animosity towards me. After the Olympics, I was selected by the International Olympic Committee as a recipient of the Olympic Solidarity Program, which granted me financial support to train for the 2024 Paris Olympics, which would have funded me without costing the Philippines a single centavo. But Mr. Huico himself did not give me the required NSA endorsement for my paperwork. Instead, he nominated another athlete who is a long shot, with all due respect to him or her, getting past the first round of elimination in the Olympics. The sad part of the whole thing is that the program is athlete specific. When Mr. Huico did not endorse me, the federation, the sport of athletics lost that lone spot that the IOC gave to us, and it was given to another sport and another athlete. Mr. Huico also harassed and pressured my sports psychologist in the past to break doctor-patient confidentiality, which is now the subject of a pending ethics violation case with the Philippine Olympic Committee. Mr. Huico often says that he is like a father in all of us in athletes, but I cannot imagine any father who would treat his children the way Mr. Huico treated me. I have been accused of a crime that I did not commit. Without giving me a chance to air my side, he crucified and vilified me in the media. Kung ganito po ang pagtrato ng ama sa ng kanyang anak, I think I might as well be an orphan. Maging ulila na lang po. Today, I am cut off from all funding. I am alone in Italy, wondering how I can even pay my living and training expenses. I am paying for everything and have been a very hard time self-funding and training costs. I have been more than 100 days or more than 3 months since the last time I received funding from the Philippine Sports Commission and PATAFA. The irony of the whole matter is that now, having this problem, my second father here in Italy, who is now offering to assist me financially, which is none other than my coach, Vitaly Petrov. I'm here to train and to prepare myself for the 2024 Paris Olympics and to represent the flag and country to the best of my abilities. My federation may have abandoned me, but I know that I am not an orphan. I train and jump for my motherland, for the Filipino people. There has been much speculation about my future plans due to the offers that I have been getting from other countries to change flags and change nation. All of these offers came about when the countries heard my plight. They are after me because they know my own mother organization, my federation president, wants me out. Allow me to categorically state that my singular mission is to represent our flag in the 2024 Paris Olympics. And I claim a medal for my country, Philippines, as I truly believe I am capable of doing so. I will never abandon my flag, my country, and my countrymen. The only reason why I won't be jumping for the Philippines is if Mr. Huico kicks me out of the national team and makes my life miserably hard. I now come to you, your honors, for help. I want my name cleared in public. I want to continue to jump and represent for the Philippines. I want to help. I want to be able to train again without being worried that my own NSA will anytime find fault in whatever I am doing and try to kick me out of the team. I want my life back. I want to be able to prepare. I want to be able to train. I want to be able to jump and be able to fulfill my duty as an athlete. The current system, I'm sorry, but your honors, this is not just about me. I choose to speak out now because what is happening to me now is not the first, nor will it be the last. I choose to speak now because I believe in the Filipino people of today, and the Filipino athletes and people of tomorrow. I will ask your help to examine the current system and enact the appropriate laws that will clean up the way NSAs are being run. I pray that their finances could be managed and dispersed more efficiently and more effectively. They should be the one handling treasury functions and not delegate it to any of the athletes. They are supposed to be there to help the athletes achieve their full potential, to have a chance to bring glory for the country and to the flag. The NSA should work for the athletes, I believe, and not the other way around. Let our national resources through the NSA efficiently and effectively support our national treasures, our athletes. Let the NSA finally function as the institution that promotes national good through sport and not be treated as a personal kingdom of petty sports leaders. Pakitulungan niyo po kaming mga atleta at maasahan niyo po na gagawin namin ang lahat ng aming makakaya para makapagbigay ng karangalan sa ating bayan. We implore you, nurture and respect us, athletes, and we promise to bring pride and honor to our country with all our might, with all our minds, and with all our hearts. Maraming salamat po.
Sorry, nakamute na naman ako. Before we continue, I would like to recognize Congressman John Ray Tiangco, Lone District of Navotas, and the former chairman of this committee, Monico Fontabella, and currently the Samahang Weightlifting ng Pilipinas President. Good afternoon. So maybe now we can hear the statement of Mr. James Lafferty. Mr. Lafferty, can you state how are you related to EJ and
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Vice Chairman, and the balance of the committee, and greetings from Dubai and the United Arab Emirates. It's difficult to explain my situation clearly. Let me start by, I'm going to show you this. In 2019, I was summoned back to the Philippines from Dubai by Mr. Wico, my friend and President Patafa, to receive this award at a Asian Athletics Federation meeting. It basically thanks me for my service to Patafa and helping their mission. When Mr. Wico, I first met in 2014 when he was replacing Mr. Goteng Kok, I celebrated that, and I think he is a great man, has served his country well, and was a wonderful addition and transition in Patafa. I've supported a number of different athletes in Patafa, mainly what I would call their projects, which are people that are, for various reasons, on the downslope of their career. The first was Maristela Torres, who, after becoming pregnant and gaining a great deal of weight, and she was in her mid-30s, she was dropped from the national team. I took her personally under my tutelage. I paid her bills and brought her back, and she was welcomed back into Patafa, the national pool, and ended up qualifying for the Rio 2016 Olympics, even though she was 35 years old. And in the Olympics, she was the only mother in the long jump competition and the only person 35 years and older. So, we were very proud of her. The second person I kind of helped Popoy with was EJ when he tore his ACL in 2017. As EJ has written in several articles, the only people at the hospital were his parents, Philip Elowico, myself, and my wife. I did a lot of the rehab on EJ, and we became very close friends. I would say I'm nothing more than a mentor. I mean, he's talked to me about girlfriends, about relationships, about, I'm like a big brother. That's it. I'm nothing more. His coach is Petrov. My wife is EJ's nutritionist and has served as his nutritionist for the past several years. But I'm just there as kind of a friend. I care about him. I care about the country. I believe in sports as a tool to build a nation, and I believe in supporting homegrown Filipino athletes like EJ and Maristela, because I wanted to prove to the world that the Philippines could win gold medals by homegrown talent, not necessarily by passport transfers and recruiting Phil-Ams and Canadian Filipinos and Australian Filipinos. Nothing wrong with that, but I wanted to prove it. I sit here today with a great deal of sadness because I'm being forced to pick sides on this, and I have great affection for Philip Elowico. It pains me to hear that, how I'm being trashed about. All I've ever tried to do is help. I've never taken a penny or centavo from the Philippine government. I've only tried to help. And it pains me to know that the situation has devolved into this. It also pains me that I have to sit on the side of EJ on this one for a very simple reason. He might be the 5th ranked pole vaulter in the world, or number 6 now, but there's something he's better at. He's a better human being. And he's the finest of the finest, and represents the best of the Philippine society. And it just breaks my heart to see how his name has been trashed and how this whole thing came down. And I have to go with the side of youth on this. I have to defend. He has a whole life in front of him. He's 26 years old. You Google his name now, and the words come up: embezzlement, theft, 85,000 euros, returning money in controversy. The kid is ruined from a reputational standpoint. And it's heartbreaking. I have helped him on his endorsements. I take no fees or anything. I make it very clear to everyone. All of his endorsers have come to him with questions and concerns, and some want to cancel the contracts because his name has been sullied. And this is so heartbreaking because this young man doesn't deserve it. If you want my opinion, I'm going to show you a few slides, but if you want my opinion on the basis of this, in my opinion, there's been no crime on either side. Patafa has every right to check and to follow up on concerns that they have with taxpayer money. EJ has also not committed a crime. There's 3 bases for this, sir. And I asked this committee that you can fix most of this. The first basis is the system that is no fault of Patafa and no fault of the PSE. They've inherited it. The system is broken on how liquidation is done. I have been the one who helped hire the third-party internal auditors. They are still doing their work. They are flabbergasted at the system that is put in place that would never be in place in any corporation. It basically forces athletes to front the money, and then they only get reimbursed after a long period of time. So it requires an athlete to have money to begin with. And when they don't have money to begin with, they're in a constant system of managing cash flow. And the system is broken, and this can be easily fixed by this committee and by a recommendation of Congress, which would involve a float payment to each athlete. So they have a starting sum of money to work with, and then they deduct from that starting sum. At the end of their assignment as a national athlete, they return the original sum. In the corporate world, we call this a float. And it's what I do with all of my employees. I give them a $5,000 float at the beginning of their employment. And at the end, when they leave, they give me the $5,000 back. That stops all of the system that these athletes are being put in to manage cash flow issues. And I'll explain some of that in a moment. The second issue is, I'm sorry, I have to say it. I think the handling of this was not done well. It's okay to have concerns with EJ and concerns with his payments and concerns that maybe the money wasn't going in the right place. But when you write someone a letter and demand 85,000 euros in return, you've already accused them of a crime. Because if you've obviously believed that he has kept the money and that he should return all the money. That's not the way to do it. You do this in a very, a very subtle way. You ask questions, you give the kid the benefit of the doubt. This could have been solved in 10 minutes on a phone call if it had started that way, but it started with formal legal letters, which scared EJ. And then it went to a leak to the press. Now we'll never know who leaked it, but it wasn't EJ. He was terrified to have this get out. It was leaked to the press. And so all of his reaction was to protect his reputation. And what do you expect a young man to do? Admit he's guilty? I mean, I take some offense to Mr. Rodriguez's comments about he's already judged EJ as wrong and basically asking EJ to admit wrong. That's not right. And that's not an impartial way to conduct any type of due process. So those are the second issue is the handling. And the third issue is there is a personality conflict between EJ and Popoy Wico. I have supported both. I've defended Popoy to EJ on many occasions, and I've defended EJ to Popoy on many occasions. They're both right and they're both wrong, on these things. I've always felt Popoy looked out for the best interests of the athletes. I supported him. I believed in him. I also think he's been upset with EJ. He believes that EJ has lost his Filipino culture being in Europe so long. I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue is EJ left at 18 years old. He's a 26-year-old man, battle hardened by international competition, being on the world stage, and he's his own man with his own views. There were incidents that occurred that exacerbated the situation between both of them. And I warned EJ. When EJ, coming up to the Olympics, he basically stopped taking phone calls from Dr. Wico. I told EJ, don't do that. Don't do this. You are antagonizing things. And he said, I don't care. The Olympics are in 2 weeks. I can't take these phone calls in the middle of the night. It's constant harassment. I can't take it. I need to focus. You know what? He's the athlete. He's in Italy. I'm in Dubai. Okay, he makes his own choices. Now, that doesn't mean that he should have this kind of thing happen to him. But yes, there has been antagonism between the two for a long time. Doesn't justify it, but there is a personal element to this, in my humble opinion. Now, if I may, I'm just going to share a couple of quick slides and then I will be done, if that's okay. So the way I'd like to start this is there's really been 3 questions on EJ, and the questions keep changing. At the beginning, it was you took the 85,000 euros and we want the money back. So it was an implication he never paid the coach. Now, once there was proof put out that he did pay the coach, the story changed about what was the timing of the payments. And as that was addressed, it now gets into what makes this a little bit feels like a witch hunt is that we keep changing the narrative. At first was the money paid? The money was paid. That's a fact. And then it was, well, was it late? Yes, it was late. Many times it was late. But that's not anything devious. It's the nature of the process and what we're asking this young athlete to do. And then the third was how the liquidation was done. Let me cover all 3 very quickly. In the end of the day, EJ not only paid Petrov, but he overpaid him. This is a list of the real payments. Now, Dr. Wico has said there is no proof of the 2019 payments, and this all comes from Petrov. Well, I think we've explained Petrov is not an accountant. He's a coach. He doesn't check things very well. Those 900 euro payments were made. I have all the transfer advice, and Petrov now, oh yeah, I forgot about those. It's not Dr. Wico's fault. It's not anything, but we should start these things from an understanding and a standpoint of balance and not with trying to find the soundbite. A lot has been put in the press, Mr. Chairman and Honorable Committee, about none of the payments came from Patafa. Well, of course they didn't, because Patafa doesn't pay the coach directly. So it's inherently obvious that none of the payments come from Patafa. They say they only come from these strange places like Dubai and Germany and Manila. Well, it's a very simple explanation, and I am more than happy. I've also offered this to the Patafa Investigating Committee. I am transparent. I will provide all of the transfer evidences and documents, both EJ to me and me to Petrov. I will provide all this. All I will do is redact my bank account numbers, which is my private information. But the Dubai bank account is me. And the German bank account is EJ. EJ lives in Europe. He needs a Euro bank account. Why are we making this into an international intrigue and, by indirect means, making it look like some kind of money laundering? There's nothing going on here. EJ gets paid in pesos. That's a big flaw. So he calls the bank, Metro Bank, and says, transfer it out in euros. And they say, we can't do that. We only do dollars. You handle it. So what does he do? He comes to me in November of 2020, out of the blue, and he says, it's now off season. This is the only time I get to breathe. I am way late in paying Petrov. Mr. Lafferty, can you please be my exchange rate person? I will send you pesos and you send Petrov euros. I said, yes. And then he told me he wanted to do like 2.5 million. And I blew a fit. And I said, EJ, I don't live in Manila anymore. I don't even know how to get rid of a 1.3 million pesos. I don't know what to do. Okay, I'm sorry. And he said, okay, let's do as much as you can. That was how the 10,374, which is here, and the 10,500 was done. Now, what EJ did was wire me 100,000 peso tranches in 13 different wires to my bank account in Manila, and I paid the equivalent at the prevailing BSP rates to his coach in euros. It is not my private money. I have paid lots of private money for EJ, well over 1 million pesos. But on this particular thing, he reimbursed me. On other costs, he did not reimburse me, but I told him he didn't have to. I paid for this, and he paid me back in pesos. The Dubai is me. The same thing happened this November. So a year later, he comes back in a panic. I need to send more money. He sends me money, or he doesn't send me money. I send 12,000 to Petrov. And then EJ comes back to me at the last minute and says, hey, I just got a check from Puma for breaking the Asian record. I can actually pay you back in euros. Would you prefer that? I said, yes, I don't need more pesos. I still have the pesos from 2020 sitting in my bank account. And so what happened is he paid me back in euros like a week or two later, and that was it. There was nothing transactional about this. All of the payments were made to Petrov. We cannot discuss any further that he didn't pay his coach. He paid his coach. His coach acknowledges it. This is basically done. I am more than happy. I have been challenged in the press, I've been dared and double dared. Will I share the transfer? Saying, yes, I will share all of it with this committee. I also share it with Patafa. All I ask is that I just came back from vacation. I'd be given 2 days to white out my account numbers, and then I will send all of the information to this committee as well as to Patafa. I have nothing to hide from Patafa that EJ did reimburse me with the PSC Patafa money. It's not a big deal. What do we expect this kid to do? He has to pay people in euros, and we don't pay him in euros. We pay him in a semi-convertible currency that he can't convert living in Italy. And so he has to ask friends. This is part of the whole problem of the system. It's not set up properly for an overseas athlete. And that's not Philip Wico's fault, and that's not Patafa's fault. It's a system that they've inherited, but we can fix it. Question number 2 is talking about late. Now, again, this is not the point. I think Dr. Wico has made many comments that they have paid all the money. They certainly have paid all the money. That's not the point, but let's look at timing. So I take as one, this is coming from the accountants, and I apologize to the committee. Some of the numbers have slightly changed as the accountants. This is so difficult that certified public accountants are struggling to get everything to balance. So think of what we put a young athlete under. This is board resolution number 048-2019, issued in January 2019. It shows an amount of 3.2 million pesos, and it shows breakdowns, including coaching fee for Petrov at $1,500 a month, and taking the peso exchange rate at that time to the euro and putting it all together. Now that was done for the training period of end 18 to October 19. So it's already late. They don't pay in advance, my friends. They pay after the fact. The athlete is always being put in a position of fronting money and managing cash flow. We must never forget that. That's the heart of this problem. The problem here is not honesty or dishonesty. The problem here is what we ask the athlete to do. So how was this paid? It was paid in multiple tranches. The first payment was paid basically 3 weeks later of a little over 1 million pesos. Now, they don't give a breakdown and say how much of that's supposed to go to Petrov and how much is supposed to go to rent and how much is supposed to go to that. They just give you a chunk of money. It shows up in the bank account. You got to worry about paying people and you got to worry about the exchange rate. The second payment comes 7 months later of a little under 900,000 pesos paid. And it was paid, but it's 9 months later after the resolution. The third payment comes at 1.2 million in October. It's 9 months later after the board resolution. Now, I'm not blaming the PSC. I'm not blaming Patafa. I'm not blaming Dr. Wico. Simply saying we don't pay him on time. So, I mean, who's really late here? And there's no guidance given on how this money, how it's supposed to be dispersed and how it's supposed to be done. There's no guidance whatsoever. And the kid is training 8 hours a day. Now, we have to consider a couple of facts. It took 9 months to pay him. So who's late? Is it EJ or is it the system that's in place? The second is nobody can define the splits per payment. I have 3 CPAs working on this almost full time. They can't even figure out the splits. And that's why this chart changed from yesterday, because they found new information. Part of it is we don't have all the information, so it's difficult sometimes. But it's very difficult. And these are CPAs from PricewaterhouseCoopers. They're not stupid. They're struggling on this. We've asked EJ to do this himself. And then the third is the emergency situation. And this is the heart of the whole issue. And this is what makes EJ, and we should understand his plight. Things happen, and then he has to pay the bills immediately. So what happened, for example, in July of 2020? He hurt his back. He goes to a doctor in Formia, Italy. The doctor's not very good. So what does Petrov say to him? Go to Germany and go to this doctor that used to work on Bubka. He's the best. So they get on a plane, they go to Germany, and Dr. Wico very nicely said, we will reimburse you for all this. And that's great. But you know what? The doctor wants his 8,000 euros now. He wants it now, this second. He can't wait. And so what does EJ do? He has to take whatever money he has, borrow from me, do whatever, and pay the doctor in cash up front. He has paid that himself in July of 2020. It's December of 2021. It still hasn't been reimbursed by the PSC or Patafa. He's still out that money. And you know what happens in this system, ladies and gentlemen? It's very simple. In a system where you have all kinds of people telling you you owe them money, you don't pay the person that is the most forgiving to you. So in my life, when I owed my father money and I owed the banks money, I always paid the banks before my father because my father would forgive me. So you know who got ripped off in this situation? Vitaly Petrov. Because every time EJ had an emergency payment, he had to pay it. And then he would delay the payments of Petrov until he could get more money. That's the issue. This is the whole problem, folks. He wasn't being dishonest. He just couldn't handle it because these things happen all the time. A travel occurs. Because of the system that has been set up on liquidation, he has to come with receipts before he can get paid, which means he has to front the money. He doesn't able to do that. That's been my biggest role with him. I've helped him front money. I put things on my credit card and that because he doesn't have the cash. And then sometimes he pays me back, sometimes he doesn't. It's okay. That's between him and me. But this is the essence of the problem. How does he pay this? This is the question. And then you get to the final, the final point is the process and the order of the documents. It's a classic question of chicken and egg. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? So, there is an order problem on things. And so here's a typical conversation that EJ has had, and we have validated this with multiple other national athletes across many of the NSAs. This is not a Patafa problem. This is a system problem. Here's the conversation. I need to pay my coach, please. Sports leadership, we can't pay you without documentation like a receipt. So go ahead and pay the guy, get a receipt, submit it, and we'll reimburse you. It's easy. The athlete, yeah, it is easy, but if I had the money to pay up front to begin with, but I don't have the money. These guys don't have the money. EJ doesn't have the money. So then the response back is, okay, so what we do is get the coach to sign like a receipt and then submit this, and then we'll pay. It's not an issue. The order is out of place, but the money is properly liquidated. Nobody stole anything. All the money's been liquidated. What does the athlete say? Okay. So here's what EJ's been doing. Here are signed acknowledgement receipts from Petrov and his physiotherapist, Francesco Viscusi, acknowledging receipt of money in the amount of 5,000 euros or 1,500 in the middle of September. This was signed by both, knowing they had to sign something first to get to trigger the payment. What happens to these? He gets all of these. And EJ, now I've had to redact the names of the people here to protect data privacy, but under any kind of formal request or subpoena, you can have the full email to this committee. This is from EJ to the Sports Administration in the Philippines. Good afternoon. Attached to the signed acknowledgement receipt for Petrov, Guglietta, Viscusi for their services in the month of September, Po. Would it be possible to get their payment sent directly to them? Thank you, Po. Now, it's very clear they've signed a receipt, but they haven't been paid. It's obvious because EJ is saying, can you send the money directly to them? That person takes it a few days later and says, this is the acknowledgement receipts of EJ's coaches. Please facilitate. They all know this is going on. That person forwards it to someone else. It finally gets forwarded to Patafa. May we refer the attached file for proper endorsement from Patafa so we can act accordingly. No, if EJ was forging the receipt and keeping the money, he would say, pay it to me account directly, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's all right here transparently. This is the system. And we have verified this with multiple other national athletes. This is standard procedure that the order of the documents doesn't flow right. So when you put this whole thing in conclusion, did he take the money and steal from his coach? Absolutely not. Was he late on paying his coach? Please. I mean, let's not talk about late. Everybody's late on this whole thing. And thirdly, did he go out of a process in liquidating that was inappropriate? Absolutely not. Now, has he made mistakes? I've had many private discussions. I care about this kid on a personal level. He is like a family to me. I've told him, in all of this, you need to learn something, EJ. Your money management skills are awful and you need to get better. I don't expect you to be an accountant, but you got to get better on this stuff. He acknowledges that. Has he been slow? Yes. Has he waited till November? Yes. But you don't persecute the guy for this. You don't leave him stranded in Italy with no money and treat him like this. and destroy his mental state. He can't train very well right now. He's trying his best, but he has this hanging over his head. So my appeal to the committee in closing is I don't push blame on anyone. I have been a big supporter of Patafa and Dr. Rico, and I will continue to give people the benefit of the doubt. I have huge passion and energy for this young man who's a national treasure, and he's a great human being. He's a better human being than an athlete. We can fix this system. I will give you full recommendations from Pricewaterhouse on fixing the system. It will follow a very standard float system agreement. I would ask that we bring an end to this thing, find a way that all the fences can be mended and go on with it. And I am only there to help. If my help is not helpful, I'm always step aside. I thank you for your time, and I'm very sorry that it has come to this, and I'm very sorry for this situation, and I rest ready to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lafferty. So before we start with our queries, I clearly think that there's just a miscommunication with the coach, with Patafa, and with EJ that boiled up to this problem. So I think it's because of the delayed funding. That's why this problem is occurring. So can we ask the PSC why is the delay in the actual release of the funds to the athletes, and why document authorizing the release of the funds did not show any itemized allocation for which those amounts were intended? I think may pinakita si Mr. Lafferty na PSC Board Resolution 04822019 issued on January 8, 2019, amounting to 3,176,250 for the training period November 18 to October 19. Can we ask Chairman Butch, ba't na-delay sa athletes yung mga payment, and bakit may tranches?
Thank you, Your Honor. Before I'll answer that, I will request my Executive Director, Attorney Roy, to respond to the Chairman. Attorney Roy?
Go ahead, your
Mr.
knowledge.
Chair,
Attorney Roy.
thank you. Usually, Mr. Chair, the reason for the delay of the NSC's request is because there are unliquidated financial assistance that were granted to them. So that is one cause of the delay. Previous financial assistance that were not liquidated. And then if those are not liquidated yet, so there is a SCOA circular that prohibits the another release of funds unless all of which are liquidated. In view of that, the PSA in fact made a proactive approach by one, as mentioned earlier, we sent an SDO together with the NSAs in their participation in international competition. So in fact, currently that's what I've been doing because of the failure to liquidate the previous financial assistance. Or second, we require the NSA to post a bond equivalent to the amount of the current financial assistance so that the financial assistance will be released right away. And third, sometimes if the delegation is only negligible, like one athlete, one coach, with the permission of the NSAs, the commission will give directly to the athletes the financial assistance for them to participate in their international competition. Actually, the problem with the NSA is that if they are unliquidated, we find ways to help them on how to liquidate all those prior financial assistance. The reason for this, Your Honor, is that under Section 13, the national athletes or coaches are under the national sports associations. In fact, you mentioned about the board resolutions that there were no breakdown. In the request of the NSAs, all the breakdowns are attached there. So sometimes the board resolution made by the board secretary only reflect the total amount as requested by the NSA. However, in the present board resolution, when I was designated as the acting executive director last July 2020, we see to it that all the breakdown of the board resolutions as per request of the NSS are properly reflected because that is the basis of the liquidation by the requesting party or the grantee, in this case, which is the NSA. So usually those are the reason, Your Honor, when there are delays in the release of financial assistance to the NSA.
Pag nade-delay ang liquidation ng NSA sa PSC, lahat ng athletes ng NSA na yon is nade-delay din?
With respect to their allowance, Mr. Chair, we always have it ensure that they will receive their allowance. But on the other activity or computation, because the athletes are represented by the NSA, Your Honor, they are not individually make representation to the PEC. In fact, we record when we made a direct assistance to the athletes, that's another issue that we are facing because there are athletes who were not able also to liquidate because, for example, like simple matter, boarding pass or payroll to be submitted by each and everyone. So those are the matters that I think one of the causes, Mr. Chair.
Does the PSC have rules and guidelines on the grant release on liquidations of financial assistance to the NSA?
Yes, Mr.
Especially
Chair.
the release of training allowances of our national athletes, both here and local and abroad.
Yes, Mr. Chair, because we follow the COA Circular 2007-001 because that is the guiding principle in releasing of financial assistance to the non-government organizations or at this point, we call it our National Sports Association as mentioned under the law, under Republic Act 6847, Your Honor.
Aware naman ng mga NSA dito sa ng mga COA. Kasi
Yes, Your
non-government sila, di ba?
Yes, Your Honor. In fact, we always gave sometimes monthly or periodical demand letter issued by our chief accountant because those are part of the audit observation memorandum issued to us by the Commission on Audit. So, in fact, we put some staff specifically assigned in the liquidation in order to help the NSAs. Even, in fact, Your Honor, we are commend some NSA now that they are really trying to liquidate from the previous financial assistance given to them because even prior to this administration, Your Honor, there are already unliquidated financial assistance. And in the present administration, because of the full support given by the PSC to the NSA, record will show, Your Honor, in fact, the reason why we have a good performance for our national team or the Team Philippines is because sometimes the PEC forget the rule in order to serve the welfare of the athletes by releasing even financial assistance, even there was a prior unliquidated from the said NSA, Your Honor. We try to in fact go beyond what is required by law, but sometimes we are guided by the audit observation memorandum. So these are the things that we need also to follow, Your Honor.
Thank you. Tapos, si EJ na may problema sa euros. Is there a way na pwede nyo siya bayaran ng euros o hanggang peso lang talaga?
Usually, Your Honor, as a requirement by our central bank, we always give money in pesos because that is our circulating currency. But when it is received by the NSA, it can be converted in the bank through their representation by filling a form. Now, in case of in the last multiple or multi-sports activity, Your Honor, in recently, we sent a special disbursing officer in the ASEAN Youth Para Games. And then we will be the one make representation to the bank, Your Honor, to convert the funds needed for the delegation to be spent abroad, converting into dollars. Maybe, Your Honor, it's also a way that if we can help the NSA to make representation, because ever since, Your Honor, the NSA also has a legal personality, and they know that they are receiving public funds from the PEC because they have account in Land Bank, and before it was PNB, which is also the depository bank of the Philippine Sports Commission, Your Honor.
Okay. How does the PSC prioritize the financial assistance to the NSAs, considering to date that there's around 41 NSAs
Actually, Your Honor,
around?
that's a good question because currently we have 67 NSA
67 na pala.
submitted by the
Oo.
Philippine Olympic Committee, and some are still applying. But in coordination with the POC, Your Honor, like for SEA Games, those NSA which has future competition, which is the priority of the PAC because budget allocation is already there. But there are other NSAs, Your Honor, that were not part of the SEA Games, but they are part of the ASEAN Games. So we will also part of the preparation, Your Honor, because the preparation is not only 2 months or 3 months. It should be at least 6 months, Your Honor. For example, next year, Your Honor, there will be SEA Games. So the priority now will be those who will play in the Southeast Asian Games comes May 2022. And ASEAN Games on September, Your Honor, because some of the sports who are not part of the Southeast Asian Games will also be played in ASEAN Games. And there are also the World Games and ASEAN Youth Games, Your Honor. Not to mention the Para Games that we are also giving financial assistance, Your Honor.
Okay. And are foreign coaches like Petrov required to enter into a contract with PSC or NSA?
There are two approaches there, Your Honor, because if the foreign coach will come to the Philippines, we usually require the foreign coach, the PSC, and the NAC to sign the contract. But there are other NSA who are requesting because, for example, in the case of Petrov, it is Patapa who has a direct contact with their counterpart. So in fact, the request is from Patapa requesting a funding for the seed coach. So we release it to Patapa, Your Honor. But the contract with Patapa and the foreign coach or with AG as a witness, Your Honor, is also valid because they have separate or legal personality to enter into a contract, and that can be submitted as part of the liquidation, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Is Kong Bambol still here? I think he has some questions also for the PSC. Boss Bambol, are you there?
Chairman, Congressman Dia, Congressman Tolentino, President of the POC, just left for another meeting, Chairman.
Ay, okay. Sige. Okay. Okay. Next. Any other representative would like to comment or question from the...
Your Honor, if I may add for my last statement on this issue. Your Honor, in fact, the reason why the PEC at the instance, in the first instance, did not interfere yet, because Section 13 of Republic Act 6847 recognizes the autonomy of the national sports associations in the conduct of their investigation internally. So in that aspect, in fact, we were castigated because of that, but we only followed the law. But when this matter went out to the public, so there was the time that the chairman of the Philippine Sports Commission proposed a mediation. In fact, we have just recently signed with the Philippine Dispute Resolution Center, Inc., which is a neutral and a prestige institution in arbitration and mediation, Your Honor, to see to it that both parties were duly in the proper venue and neutral one, because the PEC also is an interested party actually in this issue. But because we don't want this matter to be published in a bad way, and that's what's happening right now, as mentioned by Congressman Manny, also with the support of Deputy Speaker Rufus Rodriguez, that this matter be mediated. And at the end of the day, it's the Philippines face is now in the international arena, Your Honor. So I hope the parties, particularly AJ and the Patapa, already submitted to mediation so that this matter can be settled silently, Your Honor, confidentially, and we move forward din on and we look for proper solution for this concern will not be happen again for Patapa and other NSA in the future, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor.
Chairman, may I comment?
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair.
Hello, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Wico here, may I say something
Mr.
in
Chair.
response?
You're on mute, Mr. Chair. Chair Mike, you're on mute. Chair Mike, nakamute ka.
Sorry, nakamute ako. Chairman Monico Puntavella, I think, was first to raise his hands. You're recognized, sir. I think-
Magandang hapon, Chairman. Mayong hapon. First of all, I would like to thank you for taking this issue up in Congress. I would like to commend you for opening this up, but I would like to reiterate the suggestion, Mr. Chairman, Your Honor, of the Honorable Congressman Manny Lopez. Sana maayos na lang. Hello.
Yes.
Sana maayos na muna ito ng PEC Mediation Committee. Kasi at mas matahimik. I believe you also would like to have this resolved right away. And as what Congressman Manny was saying earlier, sana mawala muna ito sa mata ng ating mga kababayan sa dyaryo kasi nakakahiya ito sa Philippine sports sa nangyari. For me, ang tingin ko nito kasi ang sabi noon sa cool hand look, no? What we have here is failure to communicate. Parang pareho silang may tama, pareho rin silang mali. So, as a whole, talo ang lahat dito. Talo ang Patapa, talo ang atleta kasi lumalaki ng lumalaki na dapat naman siguro maayos ito ng mga matured na mga kababayan natin dyan. Alam mo, Mr. Chairman, ang idadagdag ko lang dito, maliban na sana maayos ito ng PEC, silently, discreetly, alam mo, pag umabot ito sa International Olympic Committee, kung sino man ang wise guide dyan na maakyat ito sa IOC, alam mo, mayroong ruling, Mr. Chairman, with all due respect sa iyo, na there should be no government interference sa ganitong mga problema. Kasi pag lumaki ito at lumaki, pati ang IOC nito makikinig. We have a representative, Mikey Cuangco, as member of the board. At kung lumaki ito at mali ang desisyon ng IOC, baka tamaan ang buong Philippine Olympic Committee, matatamaan ang mga members. So sana, Your Honor, maayos na lang ito ninyo, Chairman Butch, ayusin nyo ito ng mas madadali. Kayo na lang, alam nyo naman lahat ito. Kasi sa nakinig ko, parang lahat naman ata may mali dito eh. Oo, at lahat naman naniniwala, tama sila. So, I would like to just request, Mr. Chairman, that interference of government in POC matters or NSA matters, baka may very thin line dyan of being misinterpreted and it might burn the whole house down. Instead na isang problema lang ito, baka lahat na buong POC matatamaan dito. Kaya I would like to thank you for taking this up. Pero yan lang po ang aking suggestion. At please give my highest regard to your family. Sa father mo, sa brother mo, kasi mahal ko yung mga kapatid mo. So sa lahat dyan, sa inyo, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Sana mawala na muna ito kasi nasisira ang Christmas ng tao pag nabasa ito. Maraming salamat. Chairman Butch, after last night ng World Championship,
I guarantee you, I will have no less than 3 weightlifters sa Paris Olympics, Chairman Boots. 3, not less than 3. Salamat, Chairman D. Chairman
Welcome
D,
po, welcome
salamat.
po.
Michael,
Mr.
maraming
Chairman.
salamat.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
Mr.
Sir
Luis
Rico.
here. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Since we've got into some kind of personal mood regards to your father and to your late granddad. Anyway, yung mediation na sinasabi, we signed that. We agreed to submit to mediation. 2 days after we received the request and kinausap ako ni Mr. Ramirez, out of deference to the request of the government and out of respect to Mr. Chairman Ramirez, who is a very decent fellow. And since I was also once a chairman of the PSC, when your successor requests you to do a certain thing, you of course honor it out of respect to him and respect for the institution that you both represent, or in my case, represented. So that's number one. We're there because it was a request of government, and we are here always to respond to the needs and to the aspirations of our country. No one has a monopoly here of love of country, love of the flag. Number two, I just want to respond a little to what Mr. Obiena said about harassment. Yung sinasabi niyang Nike na yun, ang istorya doon was that he approached our marketing and communications director, sila nung kanyang ina. And our marketing communications director talked to them and said, ito dapat hingin nyo, ito dapat hingin nyo. He never even met the guy who was talking to them, yung si Jerry Parola ng Nike. I just found out about it. I did not even talk to Mr. Obiena about that. He cannot even produce any document which says that I need this, you should do this, you should do that. Number two, yung sinasabi niyang sports doctor, sports psychologist, si Cheryl Kasuga. I wanted to meet with her because it is the duty of the sports psychologist or any other member of an athlete's group to be in close harmony with the administration, with the NSA, and every other member of the team. So I wanted to establish that relationship, which I also wanted to establish with Mr. Petrov from the very beginning. Mr. Petrov said that for the record, Dr. Kasuga. And I told her I was not interested in the gory details of Mr. Obiena's life. I just said, and there are emails to show this, I just wanted to have a 360-degree view. That is a management style or a management method. You want to know what's going on with your athlete. After all, we are the ones paying the psychologists. It's our right to find out, to monitor as part of our oversight function. So, hindi ko alam kung anong harassment no. Harassment ba pag nagtatanong ka, harassment na. You know, that's just part of it. You want to know. After all, I have to report to the PSC how the money is being used. Now, you've got a psychologist who thinks differently. Let it be. Let that be her style. So that's what I'm just saying. Let's just go back to the original. Paliwanag nyo na lang yung mga dokumento at saka yung mga kwan. But we are open to that mediation. And we already signed it. It's a board-approved mediation. The board said, please, yes, support Chairman Ramirez and the government in this thing. So, at the same time, we want justice served, we want accountability, but we're open to that. As I said, hindi lang open, we already signed it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Chairman D, just a short manifestation. Short. Can I speak up, Chairman D?
Sorry, nakamute again. Okay, go ahead, Ma'am Cynthia.
This has to do with the manifestation of Attorney Eroy. I agree with whatever he said. As gymnastics president of the Philippines, it happened to me several times that we were in trouble with financial trouble, and always Philippine Sports Commission has helped us out to be able to meet our financial, by helping us with the liquidation and helping. They do help. So I just wanted to manifest that whatever Attorney Eroy said is correct as a president of gymnastics, as an NSA president. Thank you, Attorney. I'm Chairman.
Welcome. Can we call Carl Zambrano of the POC? He's raising his hand.
Thank you, Chairman D. I think I'm wearing two hats for this. First, for the POC, we cannot comment on it since there's an ongoing ethics hearing. I'm not even part of the ethics committee also. And as mentioned a while ago by Kong Monico, there are certain rules that the government cannot intervene when it comes to the NOC, the Philippine Olympic Committee. But as president also of Skate Pilipinas, the Skateboarding and Roller Sports NSA, a new NSA. We've only not even existed in the last 5 years, but we've been to big games. And I would just like to say that whatever Attorney Eroy did mention a while ago, the PSC knows that we're NSAs, that we provide the country with sports icons, with the talent that could represent the Philippines. But that being said, we also have challenges as NSAs, and the PSA helps us by guiding us. And if there are challenges, they're there also to see if there's another way, particularly with stuff with finances and liquidations, as well as sending of the funds. So as the GAP president mentioned a while ago, Tita Cynthia, I'm also saying the same for Attorney Eroy in regards to the NSA and PSC. Thank you very much, Chairman.
Thank you, Carl. Actually, I've talked to several NSAs. Yan talagang problema nila sa finances. Yung iba nga nagtatanong bakit pa kailangan i-reimburse. Ang sinasagot ko lang sa kanila, because it's government funds and subjected tayo by law with the COA. So we have to follow sometimes. But I don't know if we can make a bill or something after this committee hearing. How can we make the life of the athletes easier when it comes to liquidations of their finances and also the NSAs? Alam ko hirap na hirap yung mga NSAs dito because yung iba, abonado nga talaga sila. Maraming NSA dyan, abonado. So hopefully we can come up with something after this committee hearing. That's why we're here. We're not actually here to touch PATAFA or the PSC or other NSAs, but we want to hear on how the funds is being distributed to the different NSAs so we can make new laws and policies to make lives of the athletes easier. So yun lang. Attorney Bobet, Bruce.
Yes, good afternoon, Chairman, to the rest of the committee. Thank you very much for having us here this afternoon. I just would like to manifest a few things. First, on the conciliation offered by the PSC, we are in cognizance of the great help that the PSC is trying to do. Thank you, Chairman Butch. Thank you to the PSC. We have not signed the offer yet, precisely because we want to exhaust all the remedies, all the proceedings that are before us before going to the PSC. There was a POC Ethics Committee hearing, which I think took precedent over the offer of the conciliation. There was the PATAFA committee hearing that was ongoing, and now we have this hearing in the House. So we have, I think, until tomorrow, and we will consider everything. I think one of our main concerns in the conciliation is that it has an automatic arbitration clause. And we just want to know, if we agree to that, who's going to pay for the arbitration cost? Because that may run into the millions of pesos. So, and the root cause is that Mr. Obiena has no money. I am here as a volunteer. The law firm that he has now is volunteering their free time. So who's going to pay for all of this? That's one of our concerns. On the Honorable Dr. Ruico's manifestation on Dr. Kasuga, the subject matter is ready under the POC Ethics Committee hearing, so we would like to refrain from commenting on that anymore. It will be resolved by the POC committee, and whatever they say, we will just abide. One more thing on, because I didn't have a chance to talk earlier, and I've been superseded. The affidavit of Sergey Bubka that has been presented to the committee and to the people here in this meeting. It only pertains to what Vitaly Petrov said. Nothing else. That's the cusp of it. And Vitaly Petrov has retracted everything that supposedly Sergey Bubka is trying to quote or mention in his affidavit. So I would like to request the Patafa or Mr. Wico to please submit another affidavit from Sergey Bubka without reference to any of the comments supposedly made by Coach Vitaly Petrov, because as far as we are concerned, as per the documents submitted to this honorable committee, they no longer exist. We are very open to solving this. We appreciate the PSC's presence here and how they're explaining their difficulties. We try to understand. I thank you, Dr. Wico, for presenting that slide on the payments. That would have been so helpful to us if that was given to us from the very start. It was never given to us. Right now, when we were answering, when we were trying to reply to the investigating committee and the administrative committee of the Patafa, we actually don't know what EJ is being charged of. We don't know. There is no part. We have submitted the letters to this honorable committee, and you can look for yourself. There is no mention of any specific charge. It's just being asked to return the money and explain within 48 hours why he should not be removed from the national pool. There were no charges. If there was any question on this reimbursement, it was never shown to us. Which specific reimbursements are you questioning? That was never raised to us. So if he asked for a bill of particulars, I mean, we would welcome a bill of particulars from the Patafa so we can properly address everything that is being charged of EJ Obiena, but we haven't received anything. That's why we came to this forum. That's why we went to the House, because we needed a chance to be heard. We have a pending hearing with Patafa, and we have officially withdrawn. Because honestly, we don't think that they are an impartial body. So we are submitting ourselves to the POC Ethics Committee. And after this meeting, sir, today, we will discuss among ourselves, and we will seriously consider the conciliation offer by the PSC if that is the only way to solve all of this. Thank you very much, Your Honors.
Mr. Chairman? Mr. Chairman?
Yes, DS Rufus.
Yes, I'm back, Mr. Chairman. Luckily, I finished my obligations to my people. So thank you for accepting me back in your committee. Just
Go ahead,
in
boss.
rejoinder to Attorney Bruce. Is that correct that the previous statement of Vasily is now non-existent? It exists. Retraction is what they have. And courts always look with disfavor retractions, because Petrov already acknowledged this, that he made this and now he's retracting. So that's the first one. The second one is very clear that first, the chairman, our Patafa, because we have the PSC, in good faith, trying to have a mediation. The problem is, Attorney Bruce is advising his client not to go into mediation. So how can we be able to solve a problem like this? If they have, hours, we sign immediately, them is already a week. Why are they afraid of mediation? That is the issue. Why are they saying that there is already a non-existence of a valid documents, which I have marked as Exhibit A Rodriguez? And why are they saying that there is no specificity in the investigation? Clearly, Mr. Chairman, the investigating committee of Patafa has given notice to them. There is the letter of President Huico, and attached are the Mr. Chairman, are attached are the affidavits of Vasily and also Sergey Busca apostilled documents. And so therefore, they should be able to first go to mediation. Now they said they have come. Sila pala nag-instigate ng investigation na ito. Fine with us. I am here in Congress. And if we want to continue with this, Mr. Chairman, we are here because we want to go to the deepest thing about this, that money from the PSC was given to the Patafa, it was given to AJ, it did not reach Vasily. That is the only issue. And everywhere in the world, when that issue comes, very clear because nandyan yung mga resibo, nandyan yung statement ni Vasily, Mr. Chairman. So now, we have 3 fora. Pumasok pa ang POC. We are going to attend the POC, Ethics Committee. Who is unethical here? My goodness, not Mr. Huico or the Patafa. The one unethical here was the one who received the money and did not give to the coach. That was already testified to by the affidavit of 2 persons who are internationally known. Sergey Bubka, champion, and also Vasily. Retractions are never favored. They look into why they retract. Why did they retract? Probably because he has the interest of EJ. And I cannot blame that also. But in court, the original one is the one that should stand. So Attorney Bruce, do not mislead all of us na una, wala kayong notice. You don't want to appear in Patafa because it's difficult for you to explain why money was received and not given. Simple lang issue, Mr. Chairman. I think you get it eh. Because our chairman can easily see this eh. The chairman is precisely looking at this. And the only issue is, nabigay ba kay AJ? Nabigay. Now ngayon, sinasabi na retract yung si Vasily. Pagkatapos, nabayaran siya. Well, that is already after the fact. These are already tawag na palusot in Tagalog. Hirap nga ako sa Tagalog kasi Bisaya ako. Pero alam ko yung palusot. So therefore, Mr. Chairman, let us proceed with this. We want from EJ and his lawyer their answer to the statement of President Huico, which will be submitted to you. An answer officially of the Vasily affidavit, an answer officially of the affidavit of Bubka. That's how an investigation of Congress goes. We go to the evidence, an answer to the, Mr. Chairman, an answer to the remittances to EJ. Ganon. I am for EJ to get a medal, to give us our deserve a place in the world. No, he is already a world-class athlete. But character, integrity should always be above board, should always be admitted and be done by our athletes because he is the model for everyone. But in this case, Mr. Chairman, if you are going to continue with this case, I am moving that the answer of the statement of President Huico, Exhibit A, Exhibit B, and Exhibit C. That is because they do not want to go to President Butch. Kami kay President Butch, ano sinasabi ni President Butch? Congressman Rodriguez agrees because you know why? The Philippine Sports Commission is having the sports and the athletes at its interest. That is their only vision in their existence, Mr. Chairman. So my question to Attorney Bruce, are you going to join the mediation or not? Because if not, then I will want this particular committee to continue because we have the truth on our side. Maski pa anong balik-balik rin natin, nabigay ba ang pera kay EJ? Nabigay. Nabigay din ni EJ sa coach? Hindi. That is the truth, Mr. Chairman. The more we're going to have this hearing, the more I am going to insist that this hearing come out with a result, with a resolution, because they have to answer what we have, the documents that we have here, Mr. Chairman. We're holding this. We are not doing this because we want to harass anybody. No harassment. We just want to be clear that we want to follow the rules and all the maxims of honesty and integrity. Ayan, Mr. Chairman, ang aking answer to Atty. Di na sana ko magsasalita. Hirap na tayo sa Tagalog nito. But anyway, hindi na sana. But Atty. Bruce saying, wala na yung first. Wala na. Pirmado. Sinabi nga, he signed this but he said that he's now retracted. Wala yun. So, Atty. Bruce, are you joining the mediation? Because if you do, we will start to mediate. Let's start to have something win-win for all of us, because that is what the country wants. But if you want to have, legal battle and legislative battle, we are ready. We are ready because we have the documents here. And how can you therefore disprove the Sergio Buspas, the apostille documents? And we also have a President Huico who has the epitome of integrity in this particular case. My goodness, nobody should destroy the credibility of Huico because I am with him in the Patafa. And what he's doing is just right. Let AJ explain what happened to this money. So yun, Mr. Chairman. So I move that we direct the lawyers of EJ to answer the opening statement, sworn statement, because all of them gave their oath. The sworn statement of the allegations of President Huico. Number 2, answer what the Vasily Petrov has stated in his affidavit, signed in all pages. And then third, the Sergio Busca apostille, the documents, and then all the remittances that were shown. Mr. Chairman, yun eh. Yun ang ano natin eh. Tuloy ba tayo dito? And we wish tuloy tayo. Tuloy ka sa POC, tuloy kami. Ang problema lang, ayaw nila eh. Ayaw nila sa Patafa, ayaw nila sa mediation. Ano mangyari, Mr. Chairman? So yan. So gusto nila, dito tayo sa Kongreso, ready kami ni Philip Vito and Congressman Rufus Rodriguez, chairman of the Patafa. Nobody can question me about my integrity and my best wishes for our athletes like EJ. I pray for you, EJ. That is what we are. We are Filipinos. We want you. But, answer this one. So, Mr. Chairman, with that, I move. If this will not stop today, I move that EJ Obiena through his counsel, come out with his notarized answer to the allegations of President Huico. That is the best way for this committee to resolve. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Welcome, DS Rodriguez. Like what I said earlier, this committee is not interested with the battle between EJ and the Patafa. We are interested with the funds, on how the funds are being brought to the athletes or how it is being liquidated, so we can make additional policies to make life for the athletes easier. Okay?
But Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
let me just proceed. This resolution is about harassment. This resolution directly questions the integrity of Patafa, including the chairman. I cannot leave this on its own just to proceed. That is why we take pains to answer this. Allegation, resolution, very clear. Hindi lang about the rules and regulations of the national sport. No, it is the first one is alleged harassment of the Philippine athletic track and field. That is the main issue here. And that is why we are here, because we respect this committee and we are going to answer that there is no harassment, Mr. Chairman. So this is what should be done, because we are talking about money of the Republic of the Philippines, which President Chairman Butch is carefully watching and trying to really supervise, and also President Huico. So ito kasi government funds ito eh. So sinabi harassment. Harassment ba? Yung magdidemand ng accounting sa binigyan ng pera? Mr. Chairman, that is what it is. So I move that they be able, because they are saying harassment, I move that they answer the letter of the report, the opening statement of Philip Vico and Rodriguez, annexes A, B, and C. So that we can go into the bottom of this, kung sino yung nag-harass, kung sino yung hindi.
Okay, thank you, DS Rufus. Before we're about to end na din eh. So before we end, I just would like also to ask some questions sa COA. Is anyone from the COA around? Mr. Milite?
I think may naka-raise pa na.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon po.
Yes, good afternoon. What are the existing rules and regulations related to disbursement of funds to private organizations like NSAs? What are the rules that govern the liquidation of the same?
Yes, sir. The pertinent COA rules is the COA Circular 2007-001, dated October 25, 2007. And also, I would like to include the COA Circular 2012-001.
Can you expound?
Can you expound?
Yes, sir. So I have here the fundamental guidelines for the 2007-001 circular and 2012.
Koa, diretsuhin mo na ito,
Yes, sir.
sagot mo. Sige, diretso mo na sagot mo. Ano ba ang specific role? Ito,
Yes, sir.
huwag na tayo mag-cite ng mga ano. Let's go to the section, Koa, because you're better there.
O,
Thank you.
ano ang jurisdiction nyo sa mga NSA?
Yan.
Yes, sir. For the grant, specifically, as mentioned by Attorney Iroy, we cannot allow the granting of additional liquidation if those NSA has still unliquidated advances. So the exemption here is PSA has granted the cash advance to AJ since Patapa has unliquidated advances. Okay. In terms of the utilization, the Patapa and including the recipient of the cash advances has to submit the liquidation documents, especially the fund utilization report. In terms of the coaches, there should be the contract and the acknowledgement receipt. This is also required under the contract of services between Patapa, Obiena, and the coach Petro.
Okay. So kung may isang athlete lang na hindi nag-liquidate sa NSA niya, buong NSA apektado, pati ibang athletes?
No,
Tama
sir.
ba yun?
There were cases that the PSC has also granted advances to other athletes.
Okay. So yung ano nyo, depende kung sinong athlete na specify ng NSA. Kunwari, liquidation for EJ. Pag hindi naka-liquidate si EJ ng beforehand, hindi nyo siya marireleasean. Hindi pwede releasean. Tama?
Yes, sir. That is specifically required under the COA circular.
Okay. So akala ko kasi NSA as a whole will submit liquidations for all the athletes. And then pag hindi sila pag medyo kulang yung liquidation, hindi magagrant din yung ibang athletes. So individually yan.
Yes, sir. And sir, let me just be clarified that the financial assistance to Mr. Obiena is a facilitative tool because the release actually should be from PSC to Patapa.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, can I
Mr. Chair.
I am
Yes, Mr.
yeah, I am a forensic.
Santa Clara, please introduce yourself.
I am Alfonso Santa Clara. I'm a retired forensic accountant, CPA. I was asked by my friend, Dr. Philip Wico, to take a look at this. Okay. Now, just to put everything in perspective, this is a money affair. Okay. The issue actually, as COA says, are three unliquidated advances of the athlete, EJ Obiena. There were three. So the rules that were said in the letter of Mr. Mijares of PSA dated October 4, they were asking Patafa if there were already liquidations done by EJ Obiena. The rule of, I think COA will answer. The cash advances were given in 2020 and 2019. They were supposed to be used in the Tokyo Olympics. Now, the rule was after the event, the athlete should liquidate within 30 days after the completion of the event. So if the event ended in August 2021, the athlete was not bothered by any request for liquidation, giving him 30 days. On October 4, 30 days already has elapsed. So nagtanong lang ang PSA. What happened to cash advance number 1? Number 1 is a residual of 6.68 million that was granted noong 2019 pa with a check that was received by the mother. Okay. The second one was given August 11, 2020 for the accommodation of the apartment of E.J. Obiena in Italy because it was going to expire on June 2020. The third one was a cash advance of 1,710,000 dated August 11, 2020 for the coaching fee of Petrov from September 2020 to August 2021. Okay. Now, the second one for the accommodation, in the emails for the whole October between EJ and the staff of Patapa, they were following up the lease contract, yung bago. Up to now, there has been a submission of the renewed lease contract. The first one, which is a residual, may usapan daw yung Patapa na sa shoulder na lang. I don't know. I don't know the background of this because this is a residual of a former cash advance malaki. Okay. The third one is the coaching fee. Look at the dates, September 2020 and August 2021. Okay. So, hinihingi yung liquidation ng 1,710,000. Nabayaran ba yan? Okay. The liquidation was supposed to be given to Patapa by EJ in an email dated October 25, 2021. Inattach niya yung acknowledgement receipt ni Petrov for 12 months totaling 30,000 euro. But it was not the money that was given by Patapa. Ang nagbayad was the Arab Bank of Mr. Lafferty, November 4. It was $2 account remittance nung nanay niya. Oh, by the way, to make it clear, lahat ng cheque ni E.J. Obiena was being received by the mother, Janet Obiena, and deposited into PNB account and or E.J. and Metrobank account. So, I heard kanina from Mr. Lafferty that he can explain all these transfers. He claims he owns the US dollar account of Arab Bank. So why was the Arab Bank paying for the liquidation ni EJ? Nangutang ba? What happened to the 85,000 euro that was given by Patapa from May 2018 all the way to August 2021 na napunta sa mami niya? What happened to that? That should be accounted for. Never mind if it was paid or not. That should be accounted for because those were money by Patapa given by PSC. Okay, if you look at the perspective from Petrov's point, if EJ says, okay, bayad si Petrov, 85,000 nabayaran si Petrov from May 18 to 2021. Oh, why are we paying again? Why was Petrov paid again 67,000 euros in November 4, 5, and 9? Dalawa sa mami niya, dollar account from Metrobank here in the Philippines, $32,000. Isa sa Arab Bank, that's Lafferty. And EJ paid isang 4 euro and 12 euro. Yun ang binayad nila. What was that for if paid na siyang fees ni Petrov no 2018? Doble ang binayad. Now, I would like to end this. We cannot settle this because the audit is not complete. Pagpasok ng pera sa account ni EJ at nanay niya, we don't know what happened anymore. Mr. Lafferty claims kanina, I hope I'm right, okay? There are peso transfers from those accounts ng mami at saka EJ to his Manila peso account. And then his account buys the dollars and gives it to Dubai. Yun ang sabi niya kanina. That has to be proven. Now, if it's a question, this is a money question. Kaming forensic auditors, we always follow the money. What happened to 85,000 euro? Was it kept for 2 years? Doon sa account nila? I don't know. Bakit nagbayad lang November 2020? Tinago yung pera? I don't know. there should be, I don't know if you should subpoena or something, I don't know. You should get the bank statements of the accounts of E.J. Obiena sa Metrobank at saka sa PNB, Harrison Branch. Kasi may deposit slip. There is no delay in the payment ng patafa to EJ. Pag ang cheque na release ng July 3, in July 5, nakadeposito na sa PNB. Now, if you ask me kung may delay kay EJ, I don't know. Kung binabayad ng nanay niya doon kay EJ, I don't know. See? That is the money. That is the real issue. Nagsimula yan, pinadalan ng chief accountant ng PSC ang patafa. Hey, do you have any liquidation for these 3 advances? Oh. Tapos, coupled with the reklamo ni Petrov doon sa apostille Bubka, kaya nagkaroon ng investigative committee ang patafa. And he sent him a letter. It was not Dean Wico who sent the letter for asking for falsified documents. Yung kay Dr. Wico was only, okay, please liquidate. We got a letter from Patapa. He put down the 3 cash advances and said, please liquidate. Okay. He was given enough time to liquidate as early as October 4. Okay. In closing, the only ones liquidated, kuno, is the coaching fees ni Petrov from September 2020 to 21. Kasi binayaran nila noong November 2020. 3 bayad. 2 sa Arab Bank, 1 kay EJ. Okay? The second one remains unliquidated kasi walang renewal lease contract. Yung first one na 1,186,536, that's up to Patapa to settle. Meron daw silang usapan na shoulder ganun because it was a residual of a former cash advance. Okay. The setup is peculiar in this case. I've heard testimonies na broken daw yung system. Hindi, I don't know. But the mere fact na yung nanay ang kukuha, di-deposito tapos you don't know kung aabot kay EJ, I don't know. That's the system in this case of EJ Obiena. I don't know if it's the same with Natalie or the other athletes. That is the setup. When you say EJ Obiena received the money, it was the mother who received the money. Okay? So, I hope that puts everything in perspective. Thank you po.
Okay, thank you. We would like to recognize Congressman Jose Bonito Singson of the party list Provinciano. Does any other members want to ask any questions?
Chairman.
Attorney Eroy of the PSC.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
For the record, Mr. Chair, I would like to appeal to the party because being a sports lawyer also, and I know Deputy Speaker Kong Ropos also knew this. The World Athletics Federation statutes provide that going to court is strictly prohibited by the federation. So that's applied down to their federation. So at any rate, if they will go to court, the World Athletics will know, and PG will be on the losing end. And in fact, in the disciplinary rules provided by the World Athletics and the Federation, any conflict within to be decided by their committee should be within and appealable with their appeals committee and right after to the court arbitration sports. In this regard, the reason why the PEC wanted this to be in mediation, because this is the only way we can resolve the issue between the parties, because as mentioned by Mr. Santa Clara, there are documents already here submitted, and we don't want this to be out in the open again. In fact, Kong Ropos was kind enough to ask AJ to admit and submit to mediation and move on. So this is the reason why our chairman of the PSC wanted that this matter be settled internally, so that this we can settle the matter and move on. And as for Attorney Bruce issue as to who will pay, it is not millions actually. When we go to arbitration, we already coordinated, as we have signed with the Philippine Dispute Resolution Center, the PEC through PDRCI, a mediation provider, in fact offer it for free, but we will give them a negligible amount only actually. It's just a matter of 10,000 to 30,000 of dividing fee. So with that, Mr. Chair, I hope the parties will come and submit the mediation and sign the mediation agreement for the benefit and for the good of the country, Patapa, and the athletes himself, so that we can move forward, because we are preparing for SEA Games and the ASEAN Games. And by law, it is the NEC who will select the members of the national athletes. And if Patapa will not endorse AJ, we cannot fund AJ for another financial assistance, because that is the mandate given to us by law. So that is the only my appeal to this committee, Mr. Chair.
Mr.
Mr. Chair.
Chairman,
Mr.
Mr.
Chair.
Chairman, Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
yes,
Rufus?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, you see, Attorney Eroy has already stated that the fear of Attorney Bruce that there will be very expensive arbitration mediation is not true. In fact, nag-offer nga yung PDRCI na libre, but we will, the PSC will give some very minimal amount. Ang problema lang, ang EJ camp through Attorney Bruce do not want to go into mediation. They have other fears, Mr. Chairman. So if they will not go into mediation, we proceed with this committee, and I am going to move for the subpoena of all the deposits that were all the Patafa amounts given to Mrs. Obiena, and find out from this account, subpoena from the Committee on Youth and Sports Affairs, so that we can go to the bottom of things. There are from August, from 2019, 2020, there were those that were not paid. Now, what was paid to Vitaly? Lafferty were trying to pay so that the issue will be gone. No, it cannot be gone, Mr. Chairman. It will be here unless the Philippine Sports Committee can mediate so that we can move further. Wala eh. It is the camp of AJ Obiena wanting to go into the bottom of this, and this will prove that there has been no remittance to Vitaly by AJ Obiena. So you better not dig your own grave. Let us go into mediation. Let's solve the matter. Proceed.
On this, please.
Mr. Chairman, yeah, let's not listen to this Lafferty. He's trying to cover up for the payment. He's the one paying. My goodness. Mr. Chairman, you proceed now with the meeting, Mr. Chairman.
I would like
Yes,
to.
actually,
Since
Mr. Lafferty,
Chair.
You're not recognized.
Lafferty, you have to wait to be acknowledged.
You're not recognized.
You're not recognized. Actually, I believe there's just a miscommunication between Patafa, Coach Petrov, and EJ, which led to all these things that they're saying, harassment and whatever, so forth. So hopefully, you'll be able to fix this eternally, like what the others said. So I don't know how we can proceed with this, because first of all, the committee doesn't have power over the NSAs. So we are just here to hear on the funding, like what I said. On the harassment issues, I don't think Congress can do anything about that here. So maybe we can ask EJ to speak first before we start.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair.
Hi, Kong John Ray first. Yes, Kong John Ray.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My apologies for being in and out of the meeting. I've been attending other meetings. Anyway, I didn't hear everyone speak completely, but this is so sad that it's happening again and again and again. You've been an athlete, we've both been athletes, and this has been happening for the last maybe 30 years. And I'm positive that they will resolve their issues. But I'm sure if we don't change the policies on how we disperse, and earlier I listened to EJ about he was saying that he had to pay and incur all the foreign exchange losses and all this, and he had to pay the coach when in fact it's actually the NSA who has a contract with the coach. So moving forward, I'd like to move forward, because if we don't change the policies, this will happen again and again. So hopefully we can. I don't know how we'll do this, but this has happened with tennis, with gymnastics, with all the NSAs. So ano kayang maganda nga yung sinabi niyo kanina, that baka kailangan natin ng kausapin rin yung together with PSC and COA, like what was mentioned earlier, may problema rin sa advances, like for emergency expenses, kaya nagagamit rin. At for the athletes, hindi na kasi nila dapat problemahin, tama ka, yung dumadating na funds and pag-disburse yan. Dapat lang talaga, they should just be training and thinking about their competition, not to be pressured with other things, especially pag malapit na yung competition. So yun lang, Mr. Chair. Hopefully we can they can resolve their issues within their mediation within the NSAs, and hopefully once and for all we can do something, change the policy and how we distribute this the funds and the funding for our athletes. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Thank you, Kong John Ray. Actually, we're running out of time. Maybe we can have EJ say something and then we can wrap up. EJ?
Yes po. May I speak po?
Yes.
I think Mr. Rodriguez was not here when I did my talk and when I explained everything. He's asking me if I have paid Vitaly Petrov, if I have given the money, if I have spent it somewhere else, if I did not pay Jim Lafferty, or is this money coming from personal banking of Mr. Jim Lafferty? I can promise, and I know that I am under oath, I have paid for all of this amount, and I have paid Vitaly the full amount. And I don't understand why he's in this set of tone when I was explaining, and we clearly stated that we have paid the amount, and him telling that I'm digging my own grave seems very degrading. I'm sorry, I just want to explain. Lastly, I have paid the amount, and I don't understand what is in question exactly on that, and that's my last piece. Thank you very much.
Thank you, EJ. Kong Manny Lopez, our Vice Chair, has appealed, and I read, if I may, and to move forward in this situation that already has so many backs and forths, I respectfully move that the parties involved, EJ and Patafa, sit down with the PSC under the table and respect leadership of Chairman Butch Ramirez acting as the mediator. So move. So hopefully EJ, with the help of Chairman Butch, and of course DS Rufus, maayos tong situation nyo with the Patafa. You are a prize athlete, and hopefully you will be competing for the Philippines pa rin, for the successing Olympics. Chairman Butch.
Mr. Chair, I move. I second the motion of Chair Manny.
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Chairman Butch, are you willing to mediate for the two parties?
Mr. Chair, I would like to inform the chairman of the sports committee in the House that we've been peacemaking and mediation is difficult, can be treacherous, but we took the path because we feel that it is important to save Patapa, leadership, and AJ. I've been talking to both of them, but in my three statements, which were collected, emanating from the board, and calibrated properly, it's a selection of sentence because we didn't want to favor Patapa and AJ, but trying to reconcile. But I don't know if they believe in me, but at 71 years old in Philippine sports, I will not commit any mistakes because my only plans was to, that's why Patapa stopped their investigation to sit down with us. I was also talking to AJ. I don't want to share because in your immediate you have to respect the confidentiality of it. So I was still praying that the people around AJ will have the wisdom to sit down with us because although wala kaming deadline, but I would like to inform the group that Malacanang is expecting for us to resolve this case. The Senate is expecting us to resolve this. And now the House. So it pushes us, it supported us, our leadership, and we feel that if we cannot resolve this, I will fail my duty as a chairman of the Philippine Sports Commission. So I am not praying for one of you to sit down with us. It is a compelling duty of a sports commission paid by people's money to lead this kind of conflict. But if they don't want to cooperate, then I will not even say na we will not. We continue to chase that peacemaking because the House, the Congress had been expecting us to resolve. Malacanang expecting us to resolve. The Filipino people, it's not only a national problem, it's a transnational, it's a world problem. Now, if we feel on the spirit of solidarity, understanding, and values which is imbibed in the sports where we are in, why can't we work together? So I am willing, Mr. Chair, to sit down with them. As a matter of fact, I've been chasing them to sit down with us. And I'm not the only one mediating. I have expert from the Philippine Mediation Dispute Group to sit down with us. We are not trying to make, we are not faulting each one, but we would like them to sit down. If there are 5 demands from AJ, and there are 5 demands from Patapa, and out of the 10, if 5 will be signed by them to agree, then moratorium, then perhaps along the way, we can resolve the problem. Solution is not instant. It is a never-ending quest. So I will affirm, Mr. Chair, to be an extension of Congress to resolve this case before, I said 15, but I think right now before Christmas. I hope they will have reason to sit down with us. After all, I have not spoken any favor to the 2 groups. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Chairman Butch. How about EJ? Are you willing?
I need to consult with my attorneys and lawyers.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Hopefully you're willing.
Mr. Chairman.
About, yes.
Mr. Chairman, you see, the internet decided to go, as the Bible says, blessed are the peacemakers. So I laud really our dear Chairman Butch Ramirez. He is doing his best. Patapa has stopped the investigation, internal one, because out of respect and the peacemaking efforts of our chairman, because we want to have a win-win situation. We want EJ to really get that gold or the podium finish anytime in the Paris Olympics. Mr. Chairman, up to now, the EJ camp is still thinking of whether to join the mediation. My goodness, we are already, the Patapa, which is aggrieved, already wants to, already stopping its investigation. Go with Chairman Butch because that is the way to go. It's going to be Christmas, Mr. Chairman. Because if they do not go to mediation, I would suggest we continue with this hearing and we go to the bottom of things. Let us subpoena all these records, Mr. Chairman. And I would ask that Obiena sign a statement in answer to what the Patapa president has stated, and our annex ABC Rodriguez. That is why, Mr. Chairman, let us have the mediation. And then let's have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Meantime, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I think EJ is raising his hands. EJ?
Just to finally clarify, I just need to talk to my lawyers to understand why am I hesitant, because even Mr. Rufus Rodriguez has called me a criminal twice. Just today. I'm really sorry if I feel that I'm being treated impartially. I'm sorry if I need to take care of my well-being and my reputation. I believe in Chairman Butch Ramirez, and I truly believe in his mediating powers. But I would need to also attest and be able to clarify and be able to be sure of what I'm taking or putting my step or my foot into. And I believe I have that right, and I hope that Mr. Rodriguez and everybody here respects that. I have told Chairman Ramirez the first day that he called me, I want to. So I go, even today, let's do it. But even with the moratorium, Mr. Philip Huico continued to berate my name. Did the PATAFA investigating committee stopped? I don't know. I just received an email just a few days ago, maybe 1 or 2 days ago. If they did agree, they should have stopped. If they agreed in the moratorium, PSC imposed that moratorium, they should have stopped.
What are you talking about?
My opinion.
You're not recognized. Who's that talking? Mr. Wico, please. You are not recognized. He's still speaking. Please let him speak first.
Yeah, just my opinion. I would need to ask my lawyers for advice, and that is my ultimate statement. And thank you very much for this honorable committee.
Okay, so perhaps we'll give EJ some time to decide. Sir Wico, you acknowledge. Sir Wico?
Wala siyang POC.
Sorry
I
for
think, yeah, okay, go ahead.
Sorry for the sudden intrusion, Mr. Chairman. I just felt that things had to be clarified. Ever since the Chairman Ramirez asked for some kind of a ceasefire, I talked to him. I said, you know, some people have been asking me to speak. I will speak just on the basis of facts. Wala na ako ibang sasabihin. So the facts were said. These were the documents we received, and that's all. And even the interviewers kept faith and followed the truth. So I don't know what Mr. Obiena is referring to about berating him and all of that. Masyado namang dramatic yung mga words na ginagamit. So that's all. I'm just saying that. That's not correct. If we come. Okay, thank you.
Okay, but you're willing also for the mediation of
mediation?
Yeah.
We already signed the agreement. In fact, we have the board resolution.
Just to hear in this
Chairman
committee
Rodriguez
that you are
knows it.
willing.
Yes, we have already
Okay,
signed
thank you.
the agreement.
Okay, thank you. And lastly, Carl Sembrano is raising his hand.
Thank you, Chairman D. Just a few observations maybe that we could apply. It's already 5 hours. We've been going around a couple of things and then going back at it because some people are stepping out. Maybe it's important to the country, it's important to the Senate, it's important to the Congress, it's important to Malacanang also. And it's also our national athlete and our NSA also. I think to respect each other's time, it's at 5 hours already. Maybe we could call it a stop again because we've been going back to 2 issues that have been repeated already. It has to be repeated again because that person or that some instance wasn't brought up when the person was there. So Chairman D, if I'm not allowed to leave by 5, I have to excuse myself. It's been 5 hours as sports leader. We have other things to do to Chairman. But thank you for having us here. And I just like to say it's good that we all have the energy. But at the end of the day, we're all Filipinos. I think we should respect each other as that first before anything else.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Carl. Yes, DS Rufus.
I take exception to this Attorney Zambrano. He has no authority over us when if he wants to leave, he can leave. But who will adjourn this will be the chairman. So Attorney Zambrano, you are out of order. You are asking for, you are POC, you are not with the Congress, and you cannot move for
Mr.
adjournment.
Chairman,
My
may I be
goodness,
recognized?
POC lawyer, Zambrano, do you know your law?
Mr.
Are you a
Chairman, may
lawyer?
I be recognized? Mr.
Yes,
Chairman,
you're recognized, Carl. Carl, you're recognized.
Mr. Rufus
No, I'm not yet
Rodriguez.
finished. I'm not yet finished, Mr. Chairman.
Oh,
I am
Mr.
saying
Chairman,
Okay.
that if he
recognized
wants to
Teka
leave,
lang. Wait, hang on.
Mr. Chairman,
Okay.
I'm not finished yet. If this guy wants to leave, he can leave anytime. But us in Congress can stay to have a resolution of this particular matter. So do not say that 5 hours na. Kami nga, congressman kami. We are saying we can continue up to midnight. So do not say that, Mr. POC. Goodness.
Mr. Chairman, may I be
Yes,
recognized
Carl.
again?
Yes, Mr. Carl.
Mr.
you're
Rodriguez,
recognized.
thank you so much for your energy. I think you misunderstood again my statement. I was merely saying if I'm not allowed to go by 5, I need to excuse myself. Also, secondly, I'm not an attorney. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just here for sports. I'm the president of Skateboarding and Roller Sports Association of the Philippines. I'm also the deputy secretary of POC. But sir, I am not a lawyer. You are correct there.
But do not say that we should already stop because already 5 hours.
Sir,
That was your
okay.
insistence.
Just to
You are
Kyle, you're not
I don't
to
see
recognized.
that.
how we are going to
There's a
proceed here.
process where someone needs to raise their hand, but I do it and someone
Committee is
doesn't.
suspended.
Yeah, you can say
Committee
something, but not to stop the
Suspend.
proceedings.
I'm not
Committee
stopping the
suspended.
proceedings. You could look at
Mute
the
mo
notes
muna
again. I
lahat.
wasn't stopping the proceedings.
My
just
goodness,
staying
yeah.
there.
You can leave if you want to. That we have no problem with you.
I have no problem with you either, sir.
Okay. Thank you. So we
God
proceed,
bless.
Mr. Chairman. A statement like 5 hours na. We are used to having hearings going to 10 hours because that is our function to be able to go into the bottom of things. And that is why, Mr. Sembrano, yun lang na ano. Do not be
Okay.
saying 5
Can
years,
we
5
suspend
hours
first
na.
for
Hindi
1
ganon eh.
minute? Suspend first for 1 minute.
We could stay all day.
The meeting is
Okay,
resumed.
the meeting is resumed. I guess everybody's ready na. Lumamig na konti ulo. Anyway, we are really about to end already. So before we end, does anyone want to make additional statements?
Lastly, Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
Lastly,
yes.
if they are not going to join the mediation, I suggest and I move that we proceed with the next hearing, that we hear this next week, so that we will all be clarified, including the media hearing. Yes, we continue. And let us have the written answer of Ernest Obiena under oath.
Okay, DS, if no more other statements, the committee would like to evaluate all documents and testimonies submitted today and determine whether that there is need to conduct another hearing or if submission thus far made is already complete to enable us to prepare a corresponding committee report.
Could I make a final statement, sir?
Oh,
No more,
okay,
Mr.
okay.
No more, Mr. State. No more, Mr. Chairman. It's already his time. So let
Yeah,
us
we
already,
don't have time anymore, Mr.
we have no more
Lafferty.
time
Yeah.
to hear him. So I move to,
Oh.
Mr. Chairman, with your statement, I move
Yeah.
to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, hindi pa tayo mag-adjourn, DS. Meron pa akong kailangan ayusing iba.
I withdraw my motion, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, let us move first for this resolution. May we reiterate that all documents presented today may be submitted to the committee. So for the meantime, due to the lack of time, the chair would like to suspend consideration of House Resolution 2380. Do I hear motion? Wala na, nag-motion.
I so move, Mr. Chair. I so move, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Having moved and seconded, the chair hereby suspend consideration of House Resolution 2380. So thank you to our resource persons. Hopefully, the issue between Patafa, EJ, will be settled as soon as possible. So other matters tayo.
Comsec,
Comsec,
please
read
read the
the agenda.
Mr. Chair, other matters. Referral of House Bill numbers 868-2297, 5516, 6340, 6379, 6526, 6528, 6579, 8533, 9064, 9234, relative to national policy in preventing adolescent
Sorry,
age
tatlo yung meeting ko eh.
House Resolution number 612, 538, 1571, and 1608, relative to the inquiry into the alarming increase of teenage or adolescent pregnancies. Mr. Chair, we earlier referred to the subcommittee on youth, and now, Mr. Chair, there is a request to refer it back to the mother committee, Mr. Chair.
On May 25, 2021, the body referred to the substitute committee on House Bill 868, 2297, 5516, 6340, 6379, 6426, 6528, 6579, 8533, 9064, 9234, all pertaining to the proposed establishment of national policy in preventing adolescent teenage pregnancy, and House Resolutions 612, 538, 15571, 160H, which seeks to inquire into the alarming increase of teenage pregnancy. With the indulgence of our Vice Chair Espino, the Chair would like to request the body that the said measure be referred back to the subcommittee on youth, to the mother committee.
I so move,
Any
Mr. Chairman.
motion?
I move, so move, Mr. Chairman.
Any second? Having moved and seconded,
Second the motion, Mr. Chair.
the said measures are now referred back to the mother committee. So, DS Rufus, pwede na.
Yes, I so move the privileged motion to adjourn this prestigious committee's hearing today. So move, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez.
I move to adjourn this meeting. So being no other to be discussed, meeting is now adjourned. Thank you again to all our guest speakers and resource persons, and to all my colleagues. And EJ, thank you very much also for your participation.
Thank you very much po.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.